Chapter 393. After killing his former love rival Sky Dragon, Yu Yang pretended to be annoyed that he let his enemy escape and returned to the Scarlet Battle Arena. He did not have the arrogance of a normal warrior after a victory, but a kind of anger. Yu Yang's reaction made everyone think that, although Sky Dragon was in a sorry state, he still managed to escape from Little Titan's pursuit with his speed. Everyone thought that it made sense. After all, Sky Dragon had the Raging Thunder domain and was good at flying. Once he flew out of the spatial shackles, there was a high chance that he could escape using the teleportation crystal. Blood River, Mountain Elf and Ma Long were not surprised that Sky Dragon escaped. A level 6 innate was not someone that could be killed easily. The fact that Titan Jr. was able to force the Sky Dragon to flee showed that Titan Jr. was freakishly strong. The three of them did not think much about Sky Dragon's life and death, as it had nothing to do with them. What was important was how to kill Demon Eye. Now that they had fallen out, Demon Eye must die. Demon Eye's face turned pale when he saw Yu Yang return. He rolled his eyes, as if he was thinking of a way to escape. Mr. Little Titan, even if I did not play the role of a host and did not welcome you, there is no need for you to kill me, right? Demon Eye knew that life and death was a fine line. If the other party attacked, with Blood River, Mountain Elf and Ma Long working together and this Little Titan joining in as the main attacker, he would definitely die if he was not Sky Dragon. The only way was to make sure that Little Titan had no reason to attack. You stole my assets and disgraced my reputation. Yu Yang's voice was like an ice bead bursting, chilling to the bone. Demon Eye was extremely regretful. If he didn't purposely give Tai Tan a show of strength and let him know that a strong dragon cannot suppress a snake in its own territory, he wouldn't have gone over to Indong's treasure vault and plundered all the money and treasures. Then, he wouldn't have attracted such a disaster. He found more than 3 million gold coins in Indong's treasury, as well as some ores and treasures. Demon Eye was willing to return these immediately. He was even willing to make compensation, but would the Little Titan be willing to accept his apology? Blood River shouted in a deep voice, Demon Eye, I respected you as the #1 leader under King Chong and I, and used you as a role model for an elder brother. I didn't expect that you would actually do such a shameful thing. Not only do you not have respect for a powerful innate, you even intentionally insulted him and stole his property. I really despise you. Today, I, Blood River, draw a clear line with you. The 3 chiefs are officially disbanded. You can call yourself the #1 chief. I, Blood River, disdain to be associated with you. Mountain Elf raised his long arms and counted on his fingers. Demon Eye, your annual income from the mines, business taxes, and the tributes from your subordinates is no less than 10 million. You are as rich as a country, yet you are still so greedy. It really makes me speechless. The underground city master Ma Long also shook his head slowly. Demon Eye, there's no need to talk about who's right or wrong. You're definitely wrong. The Thunder Fortress is unreasonable. If you have the ability, then speak with your strength. The incident of Demon Eye stealing people's treasures was not limited to the time when Yu Yang entered Indong's mansion. In the past hundreds of years, it had happened countless times. Demon Eye would steal the treasures whenever he had the chance. This included Ma Long, Blood River and Mountain Elf, who had just arrived. They had suffered quite a number of losses. It was just that they were not as powerful as Demon Eye back then. Even though they were angry, they did not dare to say anything. They could only silently endure the losses. Now that the past was brought up, they would still explode with anger. Blood River, Mountain Elf and Ma Long all knew about Demon Eye emptying the treasure vault in Indong's mansion and the fact that Indong's shop was ransacked by Demon Eye's subordinate. They also thought that as an innate who could kill Nightmare and Tiger Nyen, the Titan would definitely not let the matter rest. That was why they cautiously restrained their subordinates and did not allow them to participate in the robberies. They did not want to fish in troubled waters. Now they realized that they had made an extremely smart move. The powerful Titan brothers were indeed not kind people. Compared to the cold great Titan, the flamboyant little Titan seemed to hate such evil deeds even more. They would definitely seek revenge for the smallest grievance. Stealing the treasures of an innate rancor, wasn't that a slap to the face? To an innate rancor, money was a small matter. This kind of slap to the face was absolutely intolerable. If it was Demon Eye, he would definitely fight to the death if someone ransacked his house. He was not afraid of the little Titan who had the support of the entire demonic palace. Would the little Titan let go of Demon Eye who did not have the support of a powerful force? Let me leave. I only want to leave the Thunder Fortress. You can have all my properties and the pit. Consider it my apology to you. Demon Eye quickly begged for mercy. As long as he had the strength, he could develop anywhere he wanted. He was a level 5 innate, and he would be a tyrant wherever he went. So what if he had money? Those were things that he could easily get. Chop off your right hand, blind yourself, then kneel on the ground and beg for mercy. I will consider it. Yu Yang stated his conditions. What? Demon Eye was stunned. He was very clear about what chopping off his right hand meant. If he could leave after chopping off his left hand, he would do it without hesitation. However, his right hand was where his true strength was hidden. After 100 years of training, he had successfully moved the magic crystal in his brain to his right palm. This was to prevent the enemy from hitting his head, which had the weakest defense, from causing a fatal blow. If his right hand was chopped off, it would undoubtedly destroy half of his body's energy. His strength might even drop to innate level 1. As for his eyes, that was the place where he could unleash his greatest strength. If he was blinded, then the rest of his strength would be destroyed. He might not even be an innate rancor anymore. The last point was to kneel and beg for mercy from the enemy and beg for his life. If this great humiliation were to spread, there would probably be no place for him in the entire Tong Tian Tower. I will leave my left hand. Demon Eye moved the platinum-ranked ring on his left hand to the middle finger of his right hand. He moved his feet slightly, waiting for an opportunity to escape while bargaining. Talking to you is a waste of my saliva. Yu Yang saw that this guy was actually unwilling to part with a platinum-ranked ring even when he was about to die. He immediately took out the crescent moon blade and used the power of yin and yang to fly towards Demon Eye. Blood River and Mountain Elf looked at each other. They felt that Demon Eye's action of moving the ring was laughable. Not only was he unwilling to cut off his right hand, he even wanted to move the platinum-ranked storage ring to his left hand. This kind of person really died in the eyes of money. Ma Long made a hand gesture to hide his eyes. He knew that other than being unwilling to part with his treasures, Demon Eye had another intention. He wanted to use this platinum-ranked storage ring to escape. A light brighter than the sun shone from Demon Eye's hand. The brightest light came from the platinum-ranked storage ring. With the help of the energy from Demon Eye's right hand, it shone 1,000,000 times brighter. It was so bright that everyone could not open their eyes. Soul Hunter's Eye. Demon Eye's guardian beast was a huge evil eye. It was extremely ugly, covered with thin tentacles and eyes. The huge eye in the middle suddenly opened and shot a purplish-black spiritual light beam towards Yu Yang's body. As long as they were hit by this spiritual light beam, warriors who were weaker than Demon Eye would have their souls injured. There was even a possibility that their souls would be captured by the gold-ranked level 10 Soul Hunter Evil Eye. Within a minute, Demon Eye would be able to do whatever he wanted without any resistance. Demon Eye did not expect his guardian beast to be able to kill Little Titan. As long as it could freeze him for a minute, it would be enough. If not, it would be enough to make him dizzy for a dozen seconds. Blood River, Mountain Elf and Ma Long were stimulated by the strong light. While Little Titan was also frozen by the spiritual light beam, this was the best chance for him to escape. Compared to Sky Dragon, who had to run more than 10 kilometers to escape, Demon Eye, who was familiar with the Thunder Fortress, was confident that he could escape within a minute. After all, Demon Eye was also a level 5 innate ranker. Even if he had to fight 1 against 3 or 1 against Little Titan, it did not mean that he did not have the ability to escape. Success. Demon Eye realized that Little Titan was using the crescent blade to cover his face in the strong light. He did not notice the spiritual light beam at all. He immediately turned around, using all the strength and speed he had ever used in his life. However, before he could even take a step, before his feet even left the ground, a finger pressed on the back of his head. A terrifying sword chi easily pierced through his protective chi and pierced through the back of his head and out from his forehead. Before the scream of extreme pain could even come out from his throat, an extremely sharp crescent blade had already pierced through his back, piercing through his throat, piercing through his chin, and fiercely shoveling out between his 2 rows of teeth. His severed tongue flew into the air. Demon Eye naturally waved his hands. His right hand, which was shining like the sun, was cut into the air by another magic blade that was burning with demon fire. Demon Eye, who was in despair, wanted to turn around and use the last bit of power in his eyes to self-destruct and perish together with his enemy. But when he turned around, all he saw was endless darkness. The Eye Destroyer silver dagger, which had a special effect on the eyes, mercilessly slashed across. The soul-reaping evil eye that was trying its best to save its master was easily killed by the gold-ranked dragon-slaying spear before it arrived. The gold-ranked dragon-slaying spear could even kill a giant dragon. To a soul-reaping evil eye that was proficient in spiritual attacks, it was definitely an existence that could instantly kill it. Moreover, the spear tip had accurately pierced through the magic core in the soul-reaping evil eye's body. One hit kill. There was absolutely no other possibility. At this moment, the right hand that was flying in the air, along with the platinum storage ring that was still glowing, slowly descended and landed in Yu Yang's hands. Demon Eye slowly fell to the ground. Both his eyes were blind, and his strong body was still struggling on the verge of death. However, a thorny flower stalk appeared, rolled him up, and directly swallowed him into its stomach. As the thorny flower stalk and the glowing right hand were kept by Yu Yang, the blood battle arena returned to its original state. The innate level 5 demon Eye seemed to have disappeared without a trace, as if he had never appeared in this world. Maybe one day in the future, people would talk about how arrogant, greedy, and ridiculous he was when he turned into fertilizer. Blood River, Mountain Elf, and Ma Long looked at each other. They knew that Demon Eye couldn't escape, but they didn't think that Demon Eye would die so quickly and so miserably. Not even his corpse was left, as he became food in the stomach of a beast. Among the innates, Demon Eye was probably one of the unlucky champions. Other than the soul-reaping evil eye that disappeared, Yu Yang also kept the corpses of the earthquake dragon, two-headed giant dragon, single-horned python, and other beasts. As for the lizard head dragon, it had already become minced meat. The spirit of flame and smoke had become even stronger. After the battle, not only did she possess the power of storm, flame, smoke, and specter, she had also gained a type of lightning. That was the energy that she absorbed from the raging thunder domain and the 1,000 lightning strike. Although she wasn't strong yet, if the spirit of flame and smoke continued to grow, her future would be limitless. Now, the specter was her form, the flame was her body, the smoke was her coat, the storm was her mount, and the lightning was her hair. Although she wasn't a holy beast yet, she was now one step closer to becoming one. Chapter 394. After the battle, Ah-Man and the spirit of flame and smoke returned to the grimoire world. The Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen only released a vine flower stem and left after eating the demon eye. Only the Reaper Mantis stayed behind to accompany its master. The battle between the inborn experts had ended. However, the battle between ordinary martial artists had just begun. Blood River and Mountain Elf's subordinates fiercely pounced on Demon Eye's subordinates, and both sides started a bloody battle. Demon Eye's subordinates had no morale at all. All they wanted to do was to escape from the Thunder Fortress. When the tree falls, the monkeys scatter. Since their master, Demon Eye, was already dead, they wouldn't have a good ending if they continued to stay here. However, how could Blood River and Mountain Elf's men let them leave? Now was the best time to prove themselves. The Thunder Fortress had changed to a new power, and the Titan brothers had replaced Demon Eye. If they didn't please them now, when would they do it? Furthermore, Blood River and Mountain Elf's subordinates had enough of Demon Eye's subordinate. I've wanted to chop him for a long time. Get lost. In another battle, the Black-Clawed Woman and Xia-Yi were covered in blood. Both of them were covered in injuries. In terms of strength, the Black-Clawed Lady was much stronger than Xia-Yi. However, she had already lost her will long ago. Furthermore, Xia-Yi had mysteriously gained a powerful force that allowed her to fight on par with Ma Long's wife and Yanjing the butler. Furthermore, she was extremely brave and fought with all her might. The Black-Clawed Lady was actually unable to defeat Xia-Yi. This made the fat toad Jiada, the useless merchant who was kicked away by the Black-Clawed Lady, dumbfounded. Dream on. Xia-Yi did not take a step back. She also did not understand how she could contend against a lesser innate. Originally, with her strength, she would have been killed instantly if she fought the Black-Clawed Woman. But the strange thing was that when they fought, they seemed to only be slightly inferior. It looked like this battle could go on for 3 days and 3 nights without a clear winner. Of course, Xia-Yi didn't have the time to think about why. She just clenched her teeth and fought hard, swearing to defeat the enemy. The Black-Clawed Woman had already torn hundreds of wounds on Xia-Yi's body, but this extremely stubborn woman was still persisting. The demon-slaying dagger also left dozens of bloody wounds on the Black-Clawed Woman's body. One side was terrified, and their strength was greatly reduced. The other side was not afraid of death, and their combat strength increased by several times. As time went by, both sides ended up in a tie. The battle was in a stalemate. The furious and terrified Black-Clawed Woman could no longer bear the psychological pressure. When she saw that Demon Eye had also fallen to the ground and died, she immediately gave up the battle. She spat out a mouthful of poisonous mist, blocking Xia-Yi's vision. Then, it quickly transformed into a giant silver python. It knocked away Ma Long's wife and Yanjing's butler, who were trying to stop it, and fled. Just as the Black-Clawed Woman was about to escape, a black shadow flashed in the sky. The Reaper Mantis appeared and swooped down. Previously, the reason why the Reaper Mantis could not defeat the two-headed giant dragon after a long battle was not because it was not strong, but because the two-headed giant dragon was a platinum-ranked level 9 powerful beast. The fact that the Reaper Mantis was able to fight evenly with the two-headed giant dragon was already very impressive. It was important to know that the Reaper Mantis was much weaker in terms of level, size, and strength. Although the Reaper Mantis had grown, it had yet to reach its peak size. Compared to its mother, the Reaper Mantis was much smaller. Just because the two-headed dragon couldn't take it down didn't mean it couldn't deal with the black-clawed female silver python. Seizing the opportunity, the Reaper Mantis leaped down like lightning and slashed with its scythes, clamping down on the silver python's head tightly. Its sharp teeth bit down on the silver python's head, tearing the magic crystal in its brain on the spot. The silver python curled its body in panic, intending to strangle the Reaper Mantis. However, to the Reaper Mantis, this kind of strangulation was just a joke. It flapped its wings and flew, making different movements every second. It cleverly avoided the curling strangulation completely, and its scythes shook the snake's head continuously. Its strength penetrated through its spine. Through its spine, it slowly dislocated the snake's joint. The snake's weakness was its spine and 7 inches. Once it was attacked, it would immediately lose its strength. The silver python's body rolled on the ground. It was very intense at first, but gradually its neck couldn't move anymore. Only its tail was left, and its tail also slowed down. In the end, its belly turned white and it stopped moving. Although it wasn't dead, it had no strength to struggle, and could only let the Reaper Mantis tear it apart. Seeing this, Xia Yi relaxed. She, who was covered in blood, fell to the ground with a thud. Ma Long's wife immediately carried her up and smiled. Congratulations on defeating such a strong enemy. If you don't mind, I can help you treat your wounds. The quick-witted fat toad Giada had already found the best healer for him. As for how to clean up the mess, Yu Yang didn't need to worry at all. Everything would be done by someone else. Blood River, Mountain Elf and Ma Long all wanted to befriend a strong person like Yu Yang, especially when they thought that there were two brothers who were as strong as Yu Yang. With two brothers, it would be even more impressive. Blood River invited Yu Yang to his Blood River Palace as a guest, and said that he could leave the small matter of dealing with Demon Eye's property to his subordinates, and guaranteed that not a single gold coin would be missing. Of course, Yu Yang didn't care about the small amount of money. The best things of Demon Eye would definitely be kept in the platinum storage ring. As for the pits, shops and Demon Eye's Evil Eye Palace, he would leave it to the fat toad Jiada and Yen Jing the butler to take care of it. We brothers passed by the Thunder Fortress and saw that there weren't many rules and regulations here, so we decided to stay here for a while. We will head to the 7th floor of Tong Tian Tower later. Yu Yang expressed that he wasn't interested in a small place like the Thunder Fortress. After he said that, Blood River, Mountain Elf and Ma Long were really happy. The Titan brothers will definitely be famous in the whole Tong Tian Tower. Although the Thunder Fortress is small, it will always be the base camp of the strong. Blood River quickly replied, "If you need anything from us, just let us know." Mountain Elf also knew how to communicate. "How can there be no wine on such a day? I happen to have a bottle of Qi-Lan wine, please have a taste." Underground City Master Ma Long took out the Qi-Lan wine that he had kept for a long time. This was a precious wine and Dong gave to Ma Long in the past. It was said that there were only 10 bottles of this wine in the whole Qi-Lan continent, and it was sealed with the sand of time for 1,000 years. It was worth tens of thousands of gold coins. Of course, money was easy to get, but good wine was hard to come by. Ma Long was even reluctant to give it to King Chong and I, but he felt that he didn't contribute much today, so he decided to take it out to please Yu Yang. "Brother Ma Long, why didn't you take out such a good wine earlier?" "Haha, the wine of the wine saint, it's a world treasure." When Blood River and Mountain Elf heard this, they were instantly moved. This bottle of Qi-Lan wine was definitely a top-quality wine that couldn't be bought with money. It would definitely take some time for them to take over Demon Eye's inheritance. As for Ndong's underground mansion, it couldn't be compared to Demon Eye's Evil Eye Palace. Fat Toad used all his manpower to remove all the Demon Eye's insignia from the Evil Eye Palace and threw it away, replacing it with the Titan Commerce's Gemini insignia. Of course, this required time. While he was busy, the maids were tidying up the Evil Eye Palace, turning it into the Titan Brothers' Titan Palace. As for Demon Eye's original servants, they either ran away or were captured. The female slaves were also locked up, waiting for Yanjing to slowly filter out the loyal ones to become the servants. When Yu Yang came out of the Blood River Palace and walked to his new residence, the Titan Palace, he discovered that the Evil Eye Palace had been changed into the Titan Palace. There were as many people as ants busily working. Even the slaves who were mining were happily painting the walls. Pai Ping, the old slave, was especially proud of himself. His wrinkled old face was smiling so widely that a chrysanthemum blossomed. The Xiapu brothers were drenched in sweat as they painstakingly removed the huge and sturdy Demon Eye's insignia bit by bit. On the other hand, Xia Yi, who had just recovered from her injuries, fell asleep at the doorstep with exhaustion. A few female slaves were guarding at the side, but they didn't dare to persuade her to go in and rest. They also felt that she was waiting for her master, Little Titan. All the slaves that passed by bowed slightly to Xia Yi. The Titan brothers were good masters, that was for sure. But if it wasn't for Miss Xia constantly asking for benefits for the slaves, Mr. Little Titan might not have given them so many things, at least not so quickly. Because they were all high and mighty innate rankers, they didn't care about the slaves' lives at all. It was her who told them what the slaves needed. Send someone to send her in to rest. What's with her lying here? Yu Yang casually covered Xia with one of his clothes. Just this one piece of clothing was enough to move all the slave. There was no other master in the world who was this good, only Master Little Titan would care so much about the slaves. If it was any other innate ranker, it would be weird if he took a second look at them. The half-elf girl was also busy decorating the new bedroom. She didn't choose Demon Eye's original luxurious and huge bedroom. She was sensitive to smells and felt that the bedroom had too much of a bloody and rotten smell. Although it had been a while, she still felt that letting her master live in that kind of place was a kind of blasphemy. Thus, she decided to choose an elegant little hall with a nice view beside the man-made lake as her master's temporary residence. Yu Yang received the half-elf girl's dinner, patted her head lightly and returned to the grimoire world. After a night's rest, there were too many things in Demon Eye's platinum storage ring. Yu Yang was dazzled and decided not to sort them out for the time being. As for Sky Dragon's treasures, they were all kept in the grimoire. If Yu Yang wanted to get his collection, he would probably have to spend a lot of effort. The people outside were still busy. Yu Yang, who was the most idle person, walked around with nothing to do. Everywhere he went, the slaves' morale was greatly boosted and they were full of energy. However, Yu Yang was bored. He didn't have the habit of being a leader and inspecting places. In the end, he decided to go to the warrior guild to receive his reward. After killing Demon Eye, he was worth a lot of money. Yu Yang felt that he should not get the wisdom fruit for the time being. He should ask the warrior guild for the immortal spring. This thing was a treasure that was as high as rank 8. No matter how much money one had, it could not be bought. It could be used to forge, refine, concoct medicine or strengthen beasts. The most important point was that the immortal spring had an extremely strong enhancement effect. When some temporary items were added with the immortal spring, there was a high chance that it would become an eternal item. If the giant shadows that were summoned could exist forever, and all of them were stacked on top of each other, with a single punch, even a level 10 innate would be knocked down. Of course, the immortal spring was a little difficult to get. The warrior guild might not be willing to give it to him just for killing Demon Eye. Even if they gave it to him, it wouldn't be much. As for Sky Dragon, Yu Yang hid the truth for the time being. After all, Sky Dragon was the last of the 10 major sky demons of the demonic palace. If Sky Execution and the others knew about it, wouldn't they have some thoughts? Anyway, since he had killed Sky Dragon, the reward would not be lesser even if he went to collect it later. The moment he teleported to the plaza in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, he saw Bao Er running towards him from afar before he even took 2 steps, shouting "Cook." Yu Yang was overjoyed. You should be calling him husband. Seeing that the golden elf Loli was sweating profusely and that her whole body was emitting a fragrance that was unique to a virgin, it was light and extremely pleasant to the nose. Yu Yang walked towards her impolitely and rubbed his body against Bao Er. However, he said, "Little girl, stay away from me, I don't think I know you." We found a sealing circle in the jadeite forest. No one could recognize it. Sister Anna and brother said that it might be a very old seal, so everyone was trying to remove it. Brother asked me to come back first and bring you to take a look. Bao Er introduced proudly, saying that she was the one who found the sealing circle first. Damn, who allowed you to touch it? Is that something you can touch? When Yu Yang heard this, he sweated profusely. What did the ancient sealing circle represent? What was sealed inside was either a demonic beast that brought disaster, a demon that had lost all humanity, or some kind of terrifying curse. He carried Bao Er on his shoulder and flew towards the warrior guild. He did not even bother to collect the immortal spring reward and rushed towards the teleportation room, shouting, Jadeite forest, it's urgent, quickly activate the teleportation room. Chapter 395. Inside, Elder Matai, who was Yu Yang's guarantor to sign up for the anti-dragon hunter volunteers, immediately activated the teleportation circle when he saw Yu Yang carrying Bao Air rushing over. He even asked, "Young man, did you meet the dragon hunters? Do you need the Iron Blood Guards from the guild?" "Thank you, but no need." Yu Yang teleported away with Bao Air as soon as he finished his sentence. In the Jadeite forest, Fatty Hai, Yi Kong and the others were sitting on the ground listlessly. The Li brothers were polishing their weapons, Shui Tan Lang and Prince of Tian Luo were meditating and reading a book. The 4 orc girls were eating the barbecued meat, Captain Oxhead Liao was on guard, and Fan Luan Tai the Oxhead girl was drinking wine. Only Lin En and Anna were studying the seal on the stone wall. According to their research, the sealing circle had existed for a long time, and the surrounding area was covered with moss. If it wasn't for the energy of the sealing circle, this place would have become a paradise for plants. The seal circle was huge. It was 10 meters tall and 10 meters wide. It was a circle with different heaven runes at the top, bottom, left, and right. They were interconnected and restricted each other. In the middle, there was an extremely complicated pattern. Even the knowledgeable Anna and Lin En could not understand what it meant. The heaven runes on all 4 sides can be moved, but can the one in the middle be moved? After some research, Anna realized that the crystal inlaid with heaven runes could be rotated, but no matter how it was rotated, it was still connected to the sides. There's a depression in the middle. Don't tell me we need to put a magic crystal in as an energy source? Lin En also realized that there was a circular hole in the middle. Don't bother. When your cook comes, he will definitely understand. That brat can use heaven runes to write love poems. This is child's play to him. As for magic crystals, he can have as many as he wants, and they are all of the highest quality. Fatty Hai was a lazy guy. He was willing to let Yu Yang handle everything he didn't understand. He might not be free today. We will look for him after we finish our research. The Oxhead Fan Luan Tai refused to admit that she was wrong. She only said that Yu Yang lied to everyone. What if something happens? Yi Kong advised the Oxhead Fan Luan Tai not to move the stones. Isn't there still Grey Wolf? It's a divine beast. The 4 orc girls were full of confidence. They felt that divine beasts were omnipotent existences. Meow. Grey Wolf was very humble now, expressing that he could not bear the heavy responsibility. The curious Lin En really put a level 3 fire element magical crystal into the small hole. He didn't know if it was because the level was too low or the energy was too little. There was only a flash of light, and the level 3 magical crystal shone for a second. Then, it fell silent and there was no more reaction. However, this flash of light ignited everyone's desire to study it. Ah, there's a way. There really are magic crystals here. Fatty Hai and the others surrounded them, digging out magic crystals and turning stones. After some fiddling, the seal suddenly flashed with a dazzling light, enveloping everyone within it. Under the watchful eyes of Fatty Hai, Yi Kong and the others, a ball of light suddenly expanded in the center of the sealing circle, forming a teleportation door. Anna and Lin En wanted everyone to back off, but the most courageous Oxhead Fan Luan Tai and the 4 orc girls acted as if they had seen a legendary treasure. They gripped their weapons tightly and approached cautiously, staring at the teleportation door. Lin En warned, "Fan Luan Tai, I think we should report this to the Warrior Guild. We don't know what's inside, we can't take the risk." Oxhead Fan Luan Tai looked at the teleportation door reluctantly, then turned back and said to Anna, "Maybe there's a treasure inside. If we report it, we can only get 5% of the reward. We should go in and search for the treasure first. When we get the treasure, we can report it to the Warrior Guild. Anyway, the treasures in this world belong to the fated. If we can open this teleportation door, it means that we are fated with the treasure." Once she said this, the 4 orc girls all agreed. Fatty High and the others were also a little tempted. They felt that if there were treasures inside, it would be a pity if they reported it to the warrior guild and let them take it. Even if there weren't any good treasures, it was still a kind of adventure, a kind of training. There might be all kinds of traps inside, but they weren't weak. As long as they worked together and dealt with it carefully, the danger shouldn't be too high. Moreover, they had the divine beast Hui Tai Lang with them. If they really couldn't do it, they could use teleportation stones or teleportation scrolls to leave and look for Yu Yang. It would be a waste to open the teleportation door and go back without finding anything. This was the best chance. They had to go in and take a look no matter what. Anna and Lin En were more inclined to report to the warrior guild. Fatty High and Yi Kong felt that it was better to look for Yu Yang immediately than to report to the warrior guild. If Yu Yang knew that they opened the teleportation door and didn't take any treasures, but gave them to the warrior guild for free, he would definitely go crazy. Oxhead Party leader Liao, Xue Tan Lang and Prince of Tian Luo thought that they should wait for Bao Er to bring Yu Yang over. Fan Luan Tai and the others felt that they should first send people in to take a look, otherwise Yu Yang would look down on them and think that they were useless. Everyone had different opinions, so they decided to play rock paper scissors. Oxhead Fan Luan Tai was lucky to win. She waved her hand and decided to go in to take a look. The first batch to enter was Fan Luan Tai and the 4 orc girls. They were followed by Oxhead Party leader Liao, Fatty High and Yi Kong, followed by Xue Tan Lang and Prince of Tian Luo. Anna, Lin En and Hui Tai Lang were the last. The Li brothers stayed behind. If there was any special situation, they could look for Yu Yang to save them. Half an hour later, when Yu Yang rushed over with Bao Er, Fatty High and the others had already entered and couldn't stop them in time. Damn, your guts are really bigger than a water tank. Yu Yang admired these guys. They dared to enter without knowing anything? Even if there were treasures, would they be so easy to take? The heaven runes here actually meant the door of death. It was a clear warning for future generations not to enter. However, they didn't understand it and just rushed in. He really didn't know if they were brave or reckless. The Li brothers stayed behind as usual. The reason why Yu Yang asked them to stay behind was to prevent people from destroying the teleportation gate. If Fatty High and the others came out, they could support them. They didn't know if the teleportation gate was two-way. It seemed like a two-way teleportation gate, but Fatty High and the others didn't come out immediately. This meant that even if it was two-way, it wouldn't be on 2 teleportation points. Bao Er wanted to stay behind at first, but she wouldn't let go of Yu Yang and insisted on going in to take a look. If he didn't bring her along, she would probably drown the jadeite forest in tears. Anyway, there was the grimoire world. If it really didn't work, he could just throw her into the grimoire world. Yu Yang was still confident in protecting Bao Er. In the end, he agreed to bring the big lowly elf along. He held her hand and walked into the teleportation gate. After a short dizziness from the teleportation, Yu Yang found himself in a very special space. This space felt similar to the 12 zodiac temples. It was filled with the power of a seal. Even with his innate strength, it was completely useless. Yu Yang summoned his grimoire and found that he could only summon one beast, no more. He couldn't help but be astonished. The seal here was definitely more severe than the 12 zodiac temples. What was going on? After trying for a while, Yu Yang found that anyone who entered this mysterious space would meet a tragic end. The seal here was so strict that it made one's hair stand on end. No one could use their main strength. Even if they could summon a beast, they could only summon one. Furthermore, strengthening type and element type beasts were ineffective. Special type beasts' effects were weakened by 10 times. Only beast type beasts could unleash half of their battle power. What was the meaning of this goddamn mysterious space? What kind of powerful person was sealed inside? What kind of beast was sealed inside? It actually required strengthening type and element type beasts to be ineffective. The more Yu Yang thought about it, the more confused he became. Could it be that there was an extremely powerful strengthening type and element type beast sealed inside? In front of him, there were no footprints of Fatty Hai and the others. There was also no scent left behind by Hui Tai Lang. Looking at the maze-like passage, Yu Yang could immediately deduce that the entrance of this teleportation door was completely random. There was no fixed teleportation point. From this, it seemed that everyone could be separated. Only Yu Yang's group, who was worried about Bao Er and were teleported in together, were an exception. Yi Kong and Fatty Hai were fine. Even if they lost the support of their beasts and couldn't use their own strength, they could still defend and escape. However, Anna and Lin En were tragic. The two pure element-type golden elves were useless in this mysterious space. Oxhead Liao, Oxhead Fan Luan Tai and the four orcs were also tragic. They were all purely strengthening-type beasts. Xue Tan Lang and Prince of Tian Luo couldn't use their strongest beasts, Storm Giant and Skyfire Meteor. However, they still had beast-type beasts. In addition to their strength, it wasn't a big problem. Luckily the Li brothers didn't come in, otherwise they would also be in a difficult situation. This mysterious space was too abnormal. Yu Yang had never seen such a restriction before. The Reaper Mantis that had its strength reduced by half could not control its body. It kept crashing into the cave as it flew. Yu Yang had no choice but to recall it and change it to a puppet-type silver-rank Storm Battle Eagle. Unexpectedly, the puppet-type Storm Battle Eagle was not restricted at all. Instead, it had an inexplicable increase in strength, doubling its strength. Yu Yang only understood now. In this damned mysterious space, other than puppet-type beasts, all other beasts were restricted by the laws of this place. From the looks of it, there must be puppet-type beasts guarding this place. What would puppet-type beasts guard in a sealed land that had existed since ancient times? Was there really a treasure? Or was it a demon? Yu Yang's curiosity was also aroused. After walking in the winding maze-like passage for half an hour, Yu Yang realized that the front suddenly became clear. There was an incomparably wide platform. The luminous pearls illuminated the platform as if it was daytime. On the platform, groups of puppet-type beasts were patrolling in a regular pattern. Every puppet soldier was bronze-ranked level 10, and their leader was silver-ranked level 10. In the middle of the platform, there were 4 taller gold-ranked beasts in the form of a tiger, leopard, lion, and wolf. All of them were gold-ranked level 10. Under their feet, there was a lid decorated with heaven runes. It was probably the entrance to the next level. Or maybe it was a secret room to store treasures. Something's wrong. I keep feeling that something's wrong here. Yu Yang frowned as he thought hard. Looking at the scene in front of him, he seemed to have understood something. However, he could not grasp the main point. Just a little bit more, but he still could not understand the truth. Bao Er hid behind Yu Yang. She did not know what danger was at all. She even complained in a low voice, "It's so boring not being able to attack. My archery skills are useless. There are too many puppet-type beasts. They look like an army. Could this be an emperor's tomb? There are so many tomb guards." She spoke without thinking, but when Yu Yang heard it, it was as if he had been enlightened. He understood now. This place was very similar to Yu Gong's puppet palace, the legendary 5 Elemental Palace. This should be the 5 Elemental Palace mentioned in the Inheritance of Knowledge. This could be the Metal Palace of gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. Chapter 396. What the hell is this place? Fatty Hai realized that his Hippo Meteor Punch was completely useless as he was beaten black and blue by a Wind Breath Seabird that could only shoot Wind Blade. If this Wind Breath Seabird was a high-leveled beast, it would be fine, but it was only bronze-ranked level 5. Usually, bronze-ranked level 5 beasts would just be looking for trouble in front of Fatty Hai. Now, he had nowhere to run. The place where Fatty Hai was teleported to was different from Yu Yang and Bao Er. He was teleported to an underground beach with an unscalable cliff at the side. The dome was very high and there were even some clouds, but above it was the stalactites of the karst cave. In the distance of the underground sea, there was a small island that was faintly glowing. There seemed to be treasures hidden there. Treasures? Fatty High didn't want them anymore. He just wanted to get rid of that damned wind-breath seabird. This vengeful little thing thought that Fatty High was easy to bully when he entered, so it was prepared to roast and eat some bird meat. Unexpectedly, the wind-breath seabird had shot out hundreds of wind blades. Although it was exhausted, it still persistently chased after Fatty High. It continued to attack this wretched Fatty who looked stupid on the outside but was extremely agile on the inside. Fatty High was mad, but he couldn't do anything. He could summon iron-skinned rhinoceros and hippopotamus, but they couldn't fly, so they could only be beaten. More importantly, this wind-breath seabird was very smart, it only attacked Fatty High. Lin En and Anna were also in a dilemma. The two of them found themselves in a lava river full of flames. Here, other than fire-type beasts, nothing else could be summoned. Lin En had a fire-type beast, but it was only for illumination and had no fighting power. If it wasn't for Hui Tai Lang teleporting nearby to protect them, they would probably be dead already. Thousands of fire monsters were active on the lava river. Their levels weren't very high, most of them were bronze-ranked level 6, a small number of them were silver-ranked level 6 and gold-ranked level 6, but their numbers and unique terrain were enough to overwhelm all enemies. They didn't dare to provoke Hui Tai Lang, and Hui Tai Lang didn't dare to leave Lin En and Anna too far, for fear that some fire-type beast would seize the opportunity. It could only bring Lin En and Anna all the way to the upper reaches. Lin and Anna hoped to find an exit so that they could leave this scary place as soon as possible. The strangest thing was that they couldn't use the teleportation stone, so they could only find the teleportation formation to leave. Scram, scram! Oxhead Fan Luan Tai and the 4 orc girls were in an underground wilderness. A large group of coyotes and sand spiders were chasing after them. Some of them were only bronze-ranked level 5, but the Oxhead Fan Luan Tai was unable to retaliate and could only flee. The same situation also happened to Oxhead party leader Li Ao and Yi Kong. Luckily Yi Kong was able to summon his beast. Once the Herculean rhinoceros beetle appeared, although its strength was reduced by half, it was still invincible. Coyotes, sand spiders, rock giants, gnomes, and other monsters were numerous, but they could only follow from afar, not daring to attack the Herculean rhinoceros beetle. Of course, it was useless even if he attacked. The Herculean rhinoceros beetle's unparalleled defense could make most beasts' teeth and claws become mere decorations. Shui Tan Lang and Prince Tian Luo frowned as they walked into a forest. Prince of Tian Luo's silver-ranked level 5 sharp claw tracker puppet battle doll opened the way for them. There were man-eating flowers, man-eating vines and man-eating trees everywhere. It was as if the whole forest was alive and could devour life. For the first time, Shui Tan Lang realized that if there were too many plant-type beasts, it would be quite a headache. As for his companion's predicament, Yu Yang didn't know the situation, but he could imagine it. They had to find Fatty High and the others as soon as possible. If they stayed here for too long, their lives would definitely be in danger. Especially if they were to run around without knowing anything. If they were to run into the death zone of every palace, they would be finished. Under Yu Yang's control, the Storm Eagle lured away the guardian puppet warriors. Yu Yang, who was carrying Bao Air on his back, lured away the 4 gold-ranked beasts that were guarding the palace. Faster than lightning, Yu Yang turned around in mid-air and landed on the metal lid that was filled with heaven runes. Bao Air urged him repeatedly, hurry up, those 4 beasts are coming back. I told you to hide first, but you wouldn't listen. Yu Yang was very angry. He wanted to put Bao Air aside and hide, but she refused to listen no matter what. I won't be tricked by you anymore. If you go in, you will leave me behind. Ah, danger. Bao Er realized that the gold-ranked level 10 tiger had actually grown a pair of wings. It could actually fly, and the golden panther could actually climb rocks. It was preparing to attack from the sky. Don't be noisy. Yu Yang cleverly dodged the golden panther's attack. He danced in the air and hit the rock wall. At the moment when he was a few millimeters away from hitting the wall, he made a sharp turn and tricked the golden panther into hitting the rock wall. The golden lion and golden wolf chased closely, but their speed was too slow compared to Yu Yang, who was an innate ranker. 10 minutes later, Yu Yang finally succeeded in unlocking the rune circle on the metal lid. The metal lid popped up, revealing a deep tunnel. Yu Yang carried Bao Er on his back and jumped down without hesitation. The 4 gold-ranked guardian beasts stopped and did not chase after them. A minute later, the metal lid slowly closed. The 4 gold-ranked guardian beasts returned to their original positions and crouched down, as if nothing had happened. Not far away, the storm eagle had already turned into a pile of scrap metal. This was the result of the golden flying tiger's attack. Among the 4 gold-ranked guardian beasts, the golden flying tiger was definitely the main force. Hearing the metal lid close with a bang, Bao Er asked heartlessly, "Will we be trapped here forever and never be able to get out?" "I don't know whether you will or not, but I definitely won't." Yu Yang loosened the straps and let Bao Er, who was hugging him like an octopus, down. No. Bao Er felt that it was very comfortable to carry him like this, so she was determined not to get down. She did not think about how tiring it was for Yu Yang to fly with her on his back. Fortunately, Yu Yang was an innate ranker. If it was a level 6 elder, he would probably be as tired as a dead dog after flying for half a day in a restricted space. Flying alone and flying with a person on your back. Those were definitely 2 different things. For example, the battle eagle could easily fly 1,000 miles, but if it carried a person, even if it was a baby, it would not be able to fly more than 100 miles before falling to the ground. It was extremely uncomfortable to carry 2 life forms with different energy, especially when the weaker one was carrying a life form that was stronger than himself. Before Yu Yang learned how to fuse his innate qi into energy fusion, the Bloody Queen could not carry Yu Yang for a long period of time, even with her superb flying ability. Of course, it was different now. After the Bloody Queen Redology became one with her master, she could almost live with Yu Yang in the sky, which was 10 times better than her original flying state. This energy fusion secret skill was taught to Yu Yang by the Qilin girl. She said that it was easy for the Eastern Fairy tribe to ride on beasts. The stronger the master, the easier it would be for the beast to ride on. It was completely different from the soaring dragon continent, which was extremely backward. "Get down quickly." Seeing that the big lowly elf refused to get down no matter what, Yu Yang fiercely slapped her but twice. "It hurts." Bao Er twisted her body and said pitifully, "I've never been beaten before in my life. Isn't it because I'm afraid of the dark? Isn't it because I want you to protect me?" She acted like a spoiled child, arousing Yu Yang's desire to teach her a lesson. Having a big lowly on his back was a blessing that others could not hope for. The buds in front of her chest were not big, so it did not feel big when she was pressing on him. However, this green and astringent feeling was the best of a lowly. As for her butt, it felt pretty good. Yu Yang couldn't help but hit her again, sighing in his heart. The big golden elf Loli's body was already tempting enough. If she grew up, with that suffocating little face, that golden ratio figure, that perky and bouncy little butt, not to mention touching it, just looking at it would probably be enough to kill someone. Of course, he scolded her on the surface, but Bao Er did not care about Yu Yang's scolding and refused to get down. She immediately fell in love with the feeling of leaning on his back. It was strong, safe, and exceptionally comfortable. He gave her a sense of protection that she had never felt before. "I don't have a father, you might as well be my father." When Bao Er said this, Yu Yang spurted out water. "Why don't you have a father?" Yu Yang thought it was strange. Could it be that this little girl was born from a rock like Monkey Son? Golden elves usually only have a mother. I don't know who my father is, but my mother knows, but she said that he died in battle a long time ago. I've never seen him before. Bao Er hugged Yu Yang's neck and intimately pressed her face against Yu Yang's. She happily leaned on his back and sighed. I think being on my father's back should be the same as now. You can carry me on your back, but you can't just call me your father. Yu Yang suspected that this girl had a father complex, but forget it. She didn't even have a father, so she couldn't control him even if she wanted to. It could only be a kind of longing, a kind of reminiscence, a kind of substitution. Furthermore, her father complex was only controlling herself. This father complex was also not bad. Bao Er stuck out her tongue, but did not reply. She closed her eyes and enjoyed this comfort, happily sniffing the scent emitted from Yu Yang's back. When Yu Yang walked a few hundred meters away, he called out to her softly, but there was no response. When he turned around, he realized that the big loli had already fallen asleep. She looked as quiet as a baby. With the experience of entering the puppet palace, Yu Gong's knowledge and the control bracelet, Yu Yang easily passed the puppet beasts and checkpoints. To him, who had the heaven eye's divine vision, mechanisms and traps were like floating clouds. Finally, Yu Yang arrived in front of a gigantic runic circle. This runic circle was carved on a precipice. The precipice was 100 meters tall and as smooth as a mirror. Yu Yang went around the guardian beast, but he realized that he couldn't fly. There was also a law that forbade flying. It seemed like the treasure of the Golden Palace was inside this runic circle. Of course, there could also be a terrifying demon sealed inside. Yu Yang guessed that the possibility of the latter was not high. There should be some kind of treasure inside that would be extremely useful for creating puppet beasts. With regards to creating puppet beasts, the previous Yu Yang did not have enough enthusiasm. However, after the incident with Yu Yang, who had promised Yu Gong to help him complete the third secret treasure, felt a sense of responsibility. Behind this runic circle, there might be a treasure that would be extremely useful for completing the third secret treasure. He must take this opportunity to take it out from the seal. Furthermore, how could he not take the treasure when he saw it? Yu Yang was like a dragon swimming on a wall, slowly climbing up the smooth wall. This was the most ingenious use of his innate qi. His innate qi formed a whirlpool-like suction force between his 10 fingers, supporting his body to climb up bit by bit. The treasure was right above his head. Chapter 397. When Yu Yang barged into the gold palace of the Five Elements Palace, the Li brothers who were guarding the teleportation gate noticed a group of people coming from afar. They were adventurers who were attracted by the light. At first, they did not go near, but stood at a distance and discussed. Not long after, some people crushed the teleportation gate and left, as if they were calling for their friends. The Li brothers panicked. This way, the secret of the teleportation gate could no longer be kept. They were still hesitating whether to kill these people or not. The other party had a few level 7 overlord rankers. It would be hard to kill them in one go. If they let them escape, they would form a deep grudge and things would become even worse. The Li brothers did not know what to do. They only took out their weapons and decided to guard the teleportation gate first. Suddenly, there was a commotion. Almost 100 iron blood guards ran over under Ojen's lead. What happened here? Tai Tan and that golden elf are your teammates, right? Could it be that he entered this teleportation gate? Ojen's memory was very strong. He recognized that the Li brothers were Yu Yang's teammates and immediately went forward to ask. Ojen did not go to work previously. Elder Matthew told him that Tai Tan and the Golden Elf had teleported to the Jadeite forest. They might have met the dragon hunters. Hence, Ojen, who could not bear to see a junior like Tai Tan die prematurely, immediately summoned the Iron Blood Guards to help chase away the dragon hunters. After searching for a long time, the the dragon hunters did not find them. However, when he saw the twin brothers who had come to the soaring dragon continent guarding the teleportation gate, he immediately understood the situation. The elder of the Li brothers, Li Jie, nodded. However, he was secretly on guard. Even if the other party was from the warrior guild, he was not 100% at ease. The leader of the Iron Blood Guards frowned. "Oh Jen, this seal has been here for a long time. We did not know anything about it before. Today, it was suddenly activated. Maybe a monster has appeared and broke the seal." With this, Oh Jen's face darkened. If that's the case, the people inside will be in danger. Li Go hurriedly waved his hands. "That's not right, we were the ones who unsealed the seal. There are no demonic beasts or monsters in the teleportation door. According to the guild's rules, we are the first to discover a new space, a new territory, and a new region. We have the right to explore and explore first. We will not occupy it for a long time, but we must enjoy the right to explore and adventure. I think this rule set by the innate alliance is unquestionable. Whoever wants to pass through here will have to ask the weapons in our hands first." The captain of the Iron Blood Guards coldly snorted. "Who wants to steal your treasures? We only came to help out of goodwill. If you don't appreciate our kindness, then forget it." Oh Jen hurriedly tried to smooth things over. "Everyone, don't get angry because of this. Perhaps danger is lying in ambush beside us. It's a good thing that Titan and the others have entered to investigate. Our Warriors Guild needs their information. As long as you don't go in, I will suggest to the leader to share the information with the Warrior Guild." Li Jie nodded solemnly. "How long has the Titan been in there?" Eugen asked. 1 hour. The Li brothers didn't tell them the truth. In reality, Fatty Hai and the others, who had been in there the longest, had already stayed for more than 3 hours. "There are monsters coming out from inside." The number of adventurers who were getting closer was increasing. Within half an hour, there were actually more than 200 adventurers who had arrived. However, due to the strength of the Warrior Guild's Iron Blood Guards, they did not surround and attack. If it was only the Li brothers, they would have already rushed forward. As the number of people increased, the situation became more and more serious. Suddenly, the light from the teleportation gate fluctuated. A gold-ranked level 10 flame demon commander squeezed out from the teleportation gate. Its entire body was covered in raging flames. When it saw people, it immediately spat out flames that filled the sky. "Not good." Oh Jen's expression changed for the second time. The monster inside had actually come out, and it was such a strong gold-ranked level 10 monster. It seemed that Titan and the others were in grave danger. Kill the flame demon commander, then go in to save them. Although he was dissatisfied with the Li brothers' reason for stopping the Iron Blood Guards outside, the leader of the Iron Blood Guards still reacted immediately. He ordered his subordinates to surround and attack the flame demon commander, charging into the teleportation gate to save them. The Li brothers' hearts were in a mess. If they didn't believe in Yu Yang, they would have fallen to the ground in despair. A monster had appeared in the teleportation gate. What did this mean? Did it mean that everyone who entered was completely annihilated? Right now, they could only assume that Yu Yang was protecting everyone and that all of their teammates were safe and sound. How about this? You guys still retain the right to explore. First, allow us to enter to save them. The situation is extremely urgent now. Money and treasures are all just personal possessions. Human lives are the most important. Oh Jen persuaded the Li brothers as he ordered one of the Iron Blood Guards to return to the Warrior Guild to report and request for reinforcements. Boom! The gold-ranked level 10 Flame Demon Commander was very strong, but there were more than 100 Iron Blood Guards. Under the siege, the Flame Demon Commander was in dire straits. In the end, he couldn't escape back into the teleportation gate in time and was killed on the spot by Oh Jen's giant sword. The leader of the Iron Blood Guards ordered his subordinates to enter. He thought for a while and exchanged opinions with Oh General in the end. He decided to leave 20 Iron Blood Guards behind and 80 Iron Blood Guards to follow the team. In the end, he added to the Lee brothers, "You guys stay behind. It's dangerous inside. You guys are strong, but if you don't integrate into our battle formation, you won't be of much help." How could the Lee brothers not enter? On one hand, they were burning with anxiety. On the other hand, they wanted to inform Yu Yang that a large group of people was coming in so that Yu Yang could make preparations. Without saying anything else, they rushed into the teleportation gate. The leader of the Iron Blood Guards was so angry that he stomped his feet and scolded, "Nonsense, these two fellows don't even care about their lives when they see money." Oh, Jen smiled with tolerance. Young people are always like this. When you and I were as young as them, even if we killed a level 3 deer, we wouldn't let anyone touch it. Forget it, who hasn't been young before? Let's go. What we are doing is to save people. Young people will gradually grow up after suffering a few more losses. The Iron Blood Guards rushed into the teleportation gate, leaving only 20 of them outside. Although their numbers were small, the reputation of the Iron Blood Guards made the 200 to 300 adventurers not dare to surround and attack them. After all, becoming enemies with the Iron Blood Guards was equivalent to becoming enemies with the Warrior Guild. Not many people dared to do such a thing. Some people in the crowd cursed, while others sighed that they were not fated with the treasures. There were more and more adventurers, and in the end there were more than 500 adventurers. A group of fallen warriors, who were obviously the dragon hunters, came from afar. They laughed sinisterly and pounced forward. With the help of a fallen innate from the dragon hunters, the Iron Blood Guards were no match for the dragon hunters and were forced to retreat. The few hundred adventurers saw that there was a chance to take advantage of the situation and rushed forward. Some participated in the massacre, some sneaked into the teleportation gate, and some helped the Iron Blood Guards to escape. The dragon hunters did not kill the Iron Blood Guards. Under the leadership of the fallen innate, they swarmed into the teleportation gate. Of course, once they entered, it was the beginning of their tragic fate. Some landed in the wood palace of the man-eating forest, where countless man-eating vines welcomed them with their fangs and claws. Some landed in the fire palace, which was filled with lava. The weaker mercenaries fell directly into the lava river and turned into ashes. They escaped back to the shore and faced the fire monsters that grew to tens of thousands. They screamed in fear. Miserable cries sounded not only in the wood palace and the fire palace, but also in the quicksand trap of the earth palace, in the huge waves of the sea demons in the water, and in front of the puppet warriors of the gold palace. Those who entered wanted to resist, but the law of imprisonment here doomed them to a tragic fate. Unable to use element type and strengthening type beasts, unable to use their own strength, weakened special type beasts, and halved the number of beast type beasts. This result made the strength of the mercenaries fall to the bottom. The monsters that they could kill before were now easily beaten until they cried for their parents and had nowhere to hide. The leader of the Iron Blood Guards saw that his team members had no ability to resist the bite of the weak hyenas. He almost went crazy and roared loudly, "Go, leave this place, everyone leave immediately. Damn trap, no, save them immediately. Oh my God, we're finished." At first, he wanted to save his team members who were dragged into the quicksand trap by the sand spiders, but he realized that it was futile. A large group of sand spiders was surrounding them. Every second of delay could mean total annihilation. He only had a dozen Iron Blood Guards by his side. Facing thousands of sand spiders and hyenas, he, who had always been brave and fearless, could only choose to escape, because he was a pure strengthening type beast. Ojen's eyes were also twitching. He had a dozen Iron Blood Guards by his side, and hundreds of mercenaries were scattered everywhere. The gold-ranked level 10 Flame Demon's territory, the Lava River, was practically an undefeatable existence. Furthermore, not many mercenaries' beasts were useful. The dozen or so of them were also drowned by the attacks of thousands of fire-type beasts. Facing such a situation, He, an honorable warrior who would rather die than retreat, could only choose to lead his team and escape. This battle could not be fought because it was basically suicide. Yu Yang had just unraveled the runic circle. A strange light flashed. A beam of light shot from the center of the runic circle towards the opposite stone wall, making a loud rumbling sound. The opposite stone wall collapsed. In the center of the runic circle, a dark rock cave appeared. It was cylindrical, deep, and mysterious. Yu Yang immediately stopped. He did not climb in to search for treasures like a normal person. Instead, he stayed outside the cave and waited. After a while, a dreamy voice floated out from inside the cave. "Clever young man, how did you know that there was someone inside? I am very grateful to you for unraveling the 1,000-year seal for me. I am willing to repay you with the best treasures, as long as you help me with one small matter." "What matter?" A ray of light flashed in the depths of Yu Yang's eyes. It seemed to be filled with killing intent, but also seemed to be ridiculing him. It was extremely strange. "You might not know this, but this is the Five Elements Palace. Help me make a bottle in the Water Palace. As long as you bring it here, I will give you the best treasure I have on me. Or, if you want a treasure that you have been longing for a long time, that's fine too." The voice was filled with temptation. With Yu Yang's willpower, he had to struggle a little before he could break free. "Who are you? Why are you sealed here? Why do you need a bottle in the Water Palace?" Yu Yang asked. "My name is too old, you must not have heard of it. As for the bottle I want, it contains a bottle of precious God's wine that can help me regain my original strength. Go and get it, I will use treasures to exchange for it. Don't worry that I will hurt you. I swear in the name of the gods that if I hurt you or your companions, I will be imprisoned here forever. You must know that freedom is what I want the most. I just want to leave, why would I hurt you? Also, you should know that here, strengthening type and element type beasts are useless. All of my beasts are element type, so you don't have to worry about me. We are fated, why don't we become friends? We will take what we need. You want the treasure, I want the god's wine." That seductive voice was filled with emotions and was extremely infectious. It made Yu Yang's heart involuntarily give birth to an impulse to help him. "All right, but I hope that you can give me the box next to you. This is the treasure of the Golden Palace, and also my target." Yu Yang stated his conditions. "Why not? This thing is harmful to me." Before the voice finished speaking, a small golden box flew out. Yu Yang looked at it and reached out to catch it. Suddenly, a giant golden hand came out of the golden box and transformed into a demon king's claw. It slashed towards Yu Yang's body at an unimaginable speed. Yu Yang, who was carrying Bao Er who was sleeping soundly on his back, could not dodge at all. Yu Yang summoned his grimoire and raised his protective shield to block this fatal attack. However, the Demon King's claw slowly penetrated the protective shield and closed in, preparing to crush Yu Yang to death. The voice sneered complacently, "I knew you wouldn't be able to resist asking for the golden box. No one can escape the greed of treasures. I spent 1,000 years to transfer my soul into the golden box just to wait for this day. Do you know? As long as someone asks for it, the rules will not restrict my ability. When I take over your body, the whole Tong Tian Tower will tremble because of my return. Don't be too happy. Even if you are a little smart, don't think that others are idiots." Yu Yang's eyes shot out an extremely cold killing intent. A clear cry of a phoenix resounded through the sky. Nirvana's flame soared into the sky. Chapter 398. One's cleverness may lead to one's own downfall. If the rancor hiding in the golden box knew that not long ago, there was also a dark golden specter sealed in the white jade beetle that attacked Yu Yang after breaking out of its cocoon and was instantly killed by the Phoenix Sisters, he would definitely not do such a stupid thing again. Immortal beasts were extremely strong and kind by nature. Normally, they would not take the initiative to attack other living beings. However, once they were attacked by an enemy with malicious intent, they would immediately retaliate without mercy, completely displaying the dignity of an immortal beast. Similarly, the Phoenix sisters, who were his guardian beasts, were also the same. When their master, Yu Yang, was attacked by an attack that he could not defend against, they would immediately wake up from their deep slumber and ruthlessly attack the enemy. The law of confinement in the Five Elements Palace was extremely powerful even for an innate rancor like Yu Yang. However, to the Phoenix sisters, they could completely ignore the law of confinement in the Five Elements Palace. The Nirvana flame pillar soared into the sky and instantly turned into a gigantic Nirvana flame phoenix. Although the Phoenix sisters did not appear, the Nirvana flame that they controlled was equally powerful. When the transformed Nirvana fiery phoenix spat out a mouthful of raging flames at the golden box, the expert who had lost his physical body and only had his soul energy hidden in the golden box was so frightened that he immediately escaped from the box. The golden box quickly melted and the demon king-like figure hurriedly escaped, attempting to break through the Nirvana flame's encirclement. However, everything was futile. His soul energy was like snow falling into a bonfire under the Nirvana flame, quickly melting into nothingness. The demon king-like figure rolled continuously under the flames, suffering so much that he wished he was dead. "Let me go, I can work for you." The demon king-like figure struggled with all his might. Before his body melted, he made a compromise to Yu Yang. "This idea is not bad. Looks like I have to consider it carefully." Yu Yang pretended to be thinking seriously. "No, spare me." After shouting this, the demon king-like figure could no longer make any sound, because his entire body had already melted. The Nirvana flame burned even brighter. The flame revolved slowly as if it had a life of its own. It formed a whirlpool, hunting, purifying everything within its range. In less than half a minute, the Nirvana flame had completely purified the Demon King's image. In the end, only a small silver-gray bead was left. It fell with a thud and landed in Yu Yang's palm. Yu Yang took out the pitch-black bead left behind by the dark golden spectre and compared it. He felt that the two were about the same. From the looks of it, they were all ancient experts who had been sealed. It was just that he didn't know if this seal was done by the same person. When would he also have this sealing ability? Yu Yang was really looking forward to it. If he could also learn that kind of sealing skill, then Shun Tian, the Black Prince and the Thousand Goblins sect leader would all be useless. In the sky, the fire phoenix flew down with a glittering ball of golden spirit liquid in its beak. This was the treasure in the golden box, and it had already turned into liquid. Yu Yang was overjoyed. He hurriedly stored it in a jade bottle and observed with his heaven eyes divine vision. He immediately exclaimed, "My God, it's actually divine molten meteorite metal." Molten meteorite metal usually referred to melted metal. Divine molten meteorite metal was actually the liquid formed from the fragments of legendary divine equipment or the treasures used by extremely strong warriors. Divine equipment were all indestructible existences, especially those that had consciousness. They were similar to the Prison Emperor Divine Sword and Prison Emperor Divine Staff. They were all indestructible existences. Divine equipment that could be melted into molten meteorite metal was 1 in a million. This meant that the owner could reforge the divine equipment. Yu Yang could confirm that the golden box originally contained the divine equipment's fragment. As for how it was broken, he didn't know. However, the Phoenix sisters had helped him a lot. They actually used Nirvana's flame to melt this divine equipment's fragment into liquid. If it was Yu Yang, he would probably collapse from exhaustion. Even if he worked continuously for a month, he might not be able to refine it. The most important thing was that after the Phoenix sisters refined it, not only did they not destroy the original essence of the divine equipment's fragment, they even raised its rank. Yu Yang didn't have this confidence. He would be happy if he could guarantee that the divine equipment's rank wouldn't drop. Now that the Phoenix sisters had helped, Yu Yang was overjoyed. With the immortal beast in hand, the world was mine. The Phoenix sisters, who were still small now, were already so powerful. When they grew up, how powerful would they be? Yu Yang really wanted to hug the Phoenix sisters and kiss their cheeks fiercely. However, they didn't come out and didn't give him the chance to express his feelings. Looking at the divine molten meteorite metal in the bottle, Yu Yang's eyes almost turned into a heart shape. Actually, he couldn't be blamed. If it was a dwarf grandmaster who saw this, they would probably take off their clothes and run around naked. Then, they would stand at the highest point of the dwarf castle and shout against the wind for 3 days and 3 nights. Divine molten meteorite metal was something that could be used to forge divine equipment. If one added a legendary martial soul or a few drops of God's blood, they could immediately create a divine equipment. Moreover, it would be a high-quality divine equipment. Even if there wasn't a martial soul or God's blood, sacrificing a psychic beast or embedding a soul pearl or dragon crystal would also make it a beginner divine equipment. At the very least, it would be a holy ranked equipment. The only regret is that it's a little too little. There's only a small bottle. It would be great if there was a big vat. Yu Yang sighed. Divine molten meteorite metal wasn't mineral water. Having a small bottle was already enough to make others envious. To be more accurate, divine molten meteorite metal was more precious than divine equipment. Divine equipment chose its own master. It wasn't that the owner couldn't use it, but divine molten meteorite metal could be used to forge a divine equipment that was suitable for the owner. Comparing the two, even a fool would choose divine molten meteorite metal. Hoo-hoo! Bao Er was still heartlessly sleeping soundly. Yu Yang used a needle to lightly prick the girl's finger. She only shrunk slightly, but didn't wake up at all. Yu Yang grabbed her finger and squeezed a drop of blood into the divine molten meteorite metal. Immediately, a rainbow-like radiance glowed. The blood of virgins could keep the divine molten meteorite metal in its liquid state for a longer period of time. Moreover, it was said that if the blood of 9 pure virgins was collected, when forging a divine equipment, the divine equipment would be upgraded by 1 grade. Bao Er's contribution was her blood. Of course, Yu Yang wouldn't tell this big lowly elf Lowly, lest she became complacent in the future. He put away the divine molten meteorite metal and collected the silver beads. Yu Yang then entered the long cave after the seal was undone. There were ancient words inside, as if they were recording something. Yu Yang didn't recognize the words, but he believed that if he brought it back, Sickly Beauty would happily flip through the book to help him solve his doubts. After making a copy, Yu Yang also found a seal at the bottom of the cave. Unfortunately, after the seal was undone, it was already broken in many places. Otherwise, Yu Yang would try to seal an innate if he had the chance to practice. As usual, he made a copy of it and gave it to Sickly Beauty to study slowly. After exiting the cave, Yu Yang discovered that on the opposite side of the mountain wall, where the beam of light had shot out, there was a huge teleportation circle on the collapsed mountain wall. This should be the teleportation circle that led to the center of the 5 elements or the next palace. Yu Yang stood on the teleportation circle and inserted energy. Instant teleportation. In the next second, Yu Yang found himself on the surface of an underground sea. Dozens of sea demons and water monsters that were hiding in the water were swimming towards him. In the middle of the underground sea, there was a small island that was faintly glowing. Far away on the beach, countless mercenaries were being attacked by tens of thousands of wind-breath seabirds, fleeing in panic. If it weren't for the fact that these wind-breath seabirds were only bronze-ranked level 5 and their attack power was really weak, these people would have died long ago. Yu Yang saw those mercenaries that looked like black dots, but he ignored them. He turned around and walked towards the small island, treading on the waves. Before those sea demons and water monsters that intended to attack him could even get close to him, they suddenly realized that a little Lamia had appeared. Immediately after, Stone Element Medusa and Storm Mermaid appeared, causing them to flee in all directions in fright. Stone element Medusa didn't chase after them. Instead, she summoned the gold tiger shark for Yu Yang to ride on. The storm mermaid stirred up huge waves, pushing the golden tiger shark towards the small island with a rumbling sound. The sea demons and water monsters along the way all fled in all directions in fright. Although they didn't have intelligence, their instincts told them what danger was. Fatty High, who was more than 10 kilometers away, was having a headache now, because that wind-breath seabird was chasing after him relentlessly. Both the man and the bird were exhausted. When Fatty High stopped to rest, the wind-breath seabird also stopped, as if it was extremely tired. However, when Fatty High stood up, it immediately flew into the sky and continued to chase after him, unwilling to let go of this fatty. "I'll call you ancestor, all right? I beg you, please let me go." Fatty High was about to cry. What the hell was this place? His companions weren't by his side, and he didn't even know where the teleportation exit was. Staying here was already miserable enough, but there was still a wind-breath seabird chasing him relentlessly, insisting on fighting him to the death. Didn't he just want to catch it and roast it for a meal? He had already been beaten up a few hundred times, and he still couldn't forgive himself? Help, help! Fatty High suddenly heard someone shouting for help, and it was directed at him. Running around the corner, he saw a sky full of wind-breath seabirds chasing after a group of mercenaries. This scared Fatty High to the point where his hair stood on end. One wind-breath seabird had already tortured him for half a day. It would be strange if tens of thousands of wind-breath seabirds didn't eat him up. Fatty High didn't have the habit of learning from Lei Feng to do good deeds. When he heard someone shouting for help, he thought that it was more important to save his own life first. He spread his legs and used all his strength to run back. That wind-breath seabird chased him relentlessly. An hour later, Yu Yang relied on Little One Li, Stone Element Medusa and Storm Mermaid to defeat the Guardian of the Water Palace, the Tide Demon Fong, and easily obtained the Water Palace's treasure, the Dragon Trapping Pearl. As for the divine wine that was mentioned before, there was no trace of it at all. It was probably a lie told by the Gold Palace ranker to dispel Yu Yang's wariness. He rode on the golden tiger shark and swam in the underground sea. Suddenly, he found Fatty High lying on the beach like a dead dog, with all 4 feet facing the sky. Beside him, there was also a wind-breath seabird with the same stomach. "What are you doing here?" Yu Yang was very curious about Fatty High lying on the beach, exhausted. Was this guy's head caught in a door? Could a teleportation door catch a person's head? "It's like this. This damned bird kept chasing me, so of course I ran. It kept chasing me, so I kept running. That's why I'm so tired." Fatty High was speechless. Forget about Yu Yang, even he couldn't believe it. Was it possible for a bronze-ranked level 5 wind-breath seabird to beat him up so badly? Who would believe it? "Oh, then you can continue to play." Yu Yang expressed his understanding. Before he left, he even said, "This bird is not bad, it looks quite smart. Did you hear that? He said you're smart." Yu Yang rarely praises people. Fatty High shouted at the wind-breath seabird that was so tired that its stomach turned upside down. He tiptoed closer and suddenly pounced on it, preparing to catch it. Unexpectedly, the wind-breath seabird flapped its wings and flew into the sky, leaving Fatty High helpless. Seeing that Yu Yang had really left, Fatty High was scared out of his wit. He hurriedly ran and chased after it. The wind-breath seabird spat out a wind blade and hit Fatty High's big butt, knocking him down and almost making him fall flat on his face. Fatty High was seething with anger. "Damn it, don't let me catch you, or else I'll pluck out all your feathers one by one. If you have the guts, fight me outside. What's the use of bullying me here? Come, if you have the guts, come with me. Damn, I forgot that I have a contract scroll. You're dead. When I succeed, I'll roast you. If you have the guts, don't run." Seeing Fatty High take out the contract scroll, the smart wind-breath seabird realized that something was wrong and immediately ran away. Fatty High looked at the direction that Yu Yang left and gritted his teeth. He decided to deal with this seabird first. He took big strides and chased after it. This time, it was the bird chasing the man, but now it was the man chasing the bird. At this time, Yu Yang had already teleported to the wood palace. The whole forest was filled with man-eating flowers and man-eating vines. However, when the golden-crowned thorny flower queen appeared, they were 100 times more obedient than an obedient child. Moreover, the man-eating trees that he passed by used their branches to point out the location of the 10,000-year-old tree to Yu Yang. Chapter 399. What did you say? 100,000 gold coins? Do you think I'm a millionaire? Prince Tian Luo shrieked hysterically. He and Xue Tanlang stood under a giant tree that was over 100 meters tall. The giant tree looked a little like a human face. It had eyes, a nose, and a mouth. It looked a little evil, with 2 giant hands on its chin. It did not have a neck, and its body was very short and thick. Below its knees, it was deeply embedded into the ground. Compared to the soles of its feet, the top of its head was unusually lush. It looked a little like a skinny dwarf wearing a giant hat made of leaves. It was very comical. This was the guardian of the wood palace, the evil Millennium Ancient Tree. Of course, this evil Millennium Ancient Tree was not like humans who would turn into a homicidal maniac once they became evil. It was just a bit greedy and stingy by nature. When Xue Tanlang and Prince of Tian Luo arrived in front of it and asked it where the teleportation point was, it asked for 100,000 gold coins. This price made Prince of Tian Luo, who was originally rich and had a lot of spare cash, cry out in pain. No money? If you don't have money, you can't tell me the teleportation point. When the evil 10,000-year ancient tree heard that there was no money, it immediately closed its eyes and ignored Prince Tian Luo and Xue Tanlang. Prince Tian Luo was speechless. If they were outside, he would have already summoned a meteor to smash this old tree to death. Unfortunately, he couldn't summon beasts in this mysterious space. In the wood palace, other than plant-type beasts, even if they could summon other beasts, it would be a tragedy. Xue Tanlang's face was cold and he did not say a word. His storm giant and Prince of Tian Luo's Skyfire meteor were both elemental type. They couldn't be summoned here, and their main bodies couldn't attack either. They could only wait here. He would wait for Fatty Hai, Yi Kong and the others to gather here. If it was not possible, he would wait for Yu Yang to come over. Xue Tanlang's patience had always been very good. He simply closed his eyes, sat cross-legged under the tree and began to cultivate. Seeing this, the evil ancient immediately shouted, "Hey, wait, you have to ask this master's opinion before you cultivate here. If you want me to allow you to stay here and cultivate, it's very simple. Give me money. You don't have 100,000 gold coins, but you should have 10,000 gold coins, right? Take it out, or else I won't allow you to cultivate here." Prince Tian Luo was speechless. If this ancient tree stayed here for its entire life, what use would it have for money? Now, what if he gave it another 10,000 gold coins? The evil Millennium Ancient Tree urged him a dozen times and finally angered Xue Tanlang. The Ice Man angrily roared, "So noisy!" This evil Millennium Ancient Tree bullied the weak and feared the strong. Seeing that the Ice Cube guy was really angry, it made a slight concession. It used its black and slender arms to scratch the leaves on its head, pulling off a lot of tree bark, just like a person scratching their head. "All right, I'll be merciful and allow you to pay later, but you have to include interest, understand? The interest must not be reduced." What interest? When Yu Yang heard Xue Tanlang's angry roar, he thought that his brother-in-law had been attacked. He ran over and saw a comical-looking treant standing in front of him. He couldn't help but give him a thumbs up. "You look so creative, I have to say that this is a masterpiece of heaven and earth." "Thank you, but I prefer money to compliment." "Do you have any money? Give me 1,000 gold coins and I will be even happier. At the same time, I will welcome you on behalf of the entire wood palace." do you want to leave? I can tell you where the teleportation circle is, as long as you pay me. Also, do you need treasures? Use money to exchange with me. I have all kinds of treasures. As long as you have enough money, I dare say that you will be able to obtain the treasures that you yearn for even in your dreams. The evil Millennium Ancient Tree thought that Yu Yang was praising it when he said it looked creative, so it opened its huge mouth and laughed loudly. It then extended its slender arms and branched fingers, trying to sell business to Yu Yang. Yu Yang did not find it strange that such an ugly treant was so ugly, because forget about treants, even plant-type beasts did not look good. However, it was Yu Yang's first time seeing such an ugly and greedy treant. Upon hearing about money, Yu Yang's reaction was not as helpless as Prince of Tianluo. He immediately clapped his hands and laughed loudly. Yu Yang lightly knocked on his Gemini mask. Treant, please pay attention, you are currently talking to a tycoon. When Prince of Tianluo saw Yu Yang, he was extremely surprised. However, when he heard that Yu Yang wanted to make a deal with the treant, he immediately pulled Yu Yang to the side. This damn treant is a vampire, asking for 100,000 gold coins. If you ask me, don't talk nonsense with it. Just directly burn it, or let the golden-crowned thorny flower queen come out and swallow this guy. I just don't know if swallowing this guy will cause indigestion. Golden-crowned thorny flower queen? When the evil Millennium Ancient Tree heard this, sweat started to form on its face. It knew that the golden-crowned thorny flower queen was the strongest plant-type beast, and this was no joke. Do you want me to let her come out and greet you? Yu Yang laughed as he asked. The evil Millennium Ancient Tree shook its huge head rustling, the branches and leaves on its head trembling. No, no, my dear Rancor, from the report of the Trent's scent, I have already received news of the golden-crowned thorny flower queen's arrival. I sincerely welcome her. Of course, I also welcome you, because you are the queen's master. Let's return to the topic of trading. Are you interested in buying treasures from me? No matter what treasure you want, I have it. As long as you can afford it, I have a cyan tree sprout. No matter where you plant it, you will be able to obtain a tree city and an endless amount of wood. How about it? Do you like this treasure? I will only sell it for 10,000 gold coins. Yu Yang nodded his head. The Warriors Guild outside only sells it for 1,000 gold coins. You are 10 times more than them. Black-hearted profiteer, no, black-hearted ancient tree. The evil Millennium Ancient Tree did not respond to Yu Yang's criticism at all. It shamelessly haggled. You get what you pay for. My cyan tree sprout that sells for 100,000 gold coins is different. This is an ancient tree sprout, understand? This is a tree from 10,000 years ago. Yu Yang suddenly asked. Can a tree from 10,000 years ago still live? The evil Millennium Ancient Tree was a little sweaty. It coughed. Of course it can, as long as you spend another 30,000 gold coins to buy a bottle of geocentric dew. This is the condensation of spiritual energy in the Earth's core for millions of years. It is the most delicious spring water in the world. If a normal person drinks a drop, even if they are exhausted, they will immediately recover all their strength. Yu Yang clapped his hands. Geocentric dew is indeed a good thing. The problem is that one bottle is only worth 600 gold coins. In the sky garden of the Night Empress, the spiritual energy under the rainbow waterfall is all this stuff. I usually use it to bathe and water my plants. Asking for 30,000 is not wrong, but whoever wants to buy it from you is the world's #1 idiot. You want me to sell it to you for 600 gold coins? Smart treant? Alright, I can give you the geocentric dew for free, but the cyan tree sprout must be bought for 10,000 gold coins. This price cannot be changed. The evil Millennium Ancient Tree insisted on its principles. Seeing that Yu Yang was unmoved, it quietly changed its words. Cough, I found out that there are actually 2 cyan tree sprout, 10,000 for each. How about this price? Add another 10 bottles of geocentric dew. Yu Yang's attitude was ask for a sky-high price, pay as low as you can. Don't you have a lot of geocentric dew? The evil Millennium Ancient Tree was angry. It's my business that I have it. I can even use it to flush the toilet if I like. What can you do about it? If you can't, then forget it. Moreover, it's not like I don't know where the teleportation circle is after leaving the Wood Palace. The golden-crowned thorny flower queen had already asked for me. Yu Yang prepared to slip away. This was a necessary move when buying things from a shop. Seeing that the customer was about to leave, the shop owner would definitely rush up and drag the customer back to the shop to discuss. Most of the time, the shop owner would agree to the customer's counteroffer. Otherwise, no matter how the customer counteroffered, the shop owner would still kill the customer. It was only a matter of how much he earned. Then let's hurry up and leave. I can't stand seeing this thing. Prince of Tianluo agreed with Yu Yang's counteroffer. Wait, there's no hurry to leave the Wood Palace. Look, we haven't finished our transaction yet. Alright, I'll agree to it. However, I only have 3 bottles of geocentric dew. 3 bottles of geocentric dew and 2 cyan tree seedlings. The price will be 9,999 gold coins. How about it? The evil Millennium Ancient Tree probed. I'll give you 10,000 gold, you beggar. Yu Yang was furious. He almost kicked the ancient tree to the ground. Thank you for your reward. The evil Millennium Ancient Tree shamelessly agreed. Damn! Prince of Tianluo almost fell to the ground. After exchanging the cyan tree seedlings and geocentric dew, the evil Millennium Ancient Tree happily swallowed the 10,000 gold coins. Its body emitted traces of golden lines, making it extremely happy. It laughed loudly and asked, "Let's continue our transaction. Do you still have money?" Yu Yang arrogantly raised a finger and shook it. I feel that your attitude isn't right. You should know that there's a billionaire standing in front of you. When the evil Millennium Ancient Tree heard this, it immediately bowed slightly, causing its leaves to rustle. Yes, I want to express my apologies to you. Yu Yang took out a chair and sat like a master. The only thing missing was the 2 maids standing behind him waving their fans. What treasures do you have? Tell me? There's no need to talk about the low-leveled ones. The trash that I swept out from the corner of my house are all gold-ranked treasures. When he said this, the evil Millennium Ancient Tree's breathing became hurried. I won't hide it from you. I really do have treasures, but they're priceless treasures. You have to give me at least 10 million gold coins. Yes, not a single gold coin less. You must give me 10 million gold coins. Because, that is, I want to confirm if you have 10 million gold coins. If you don't, then quickly go back and get it. If I don't see the money, I won't tell you what treasure it is. When Prince of Tianluo heard this, his heart was moved. Looks like the treant was really an incredible treasure. However, he knew that if Yu Yang expressed his desire, the greedy treant would definitely increase the price. He gave Xue Tan Lang a look. What treasure is so expensive? Xue Tan Lang deliberately snorted. This guy is definitely a liar. The evil Millennium Ancient Tree's body shook continuously, as if it was extremely angry. The secret in its heart blurted out. You 2 loathsome paupers, I'll let you know how sincere I am. Have you heard of the Wishing Dutchman's pipe? As long as you make a wish to it, it's possible for your beast to level up and become a holy beast, or even a divine beast. Such a magical thing. Do you 2 country bumpkins know about it? I'm afraid that if I say it, you'll be scared to death. To think that you still dare to doubt me. TSK, who doesn't know about the Wishing Dutchman's pipe? It's a 7th-ranked treasure. If the wish is too small, it's not worth it. If the wish is too high, it won't succeed. It's just a useless treasure. Most importantly, no matter if the wish is fulfilled or not, it will immediately wither. It's a one-time use item. What use is it? Prince Tianluo obviously knew the value of the Wishing Dutchman's pipe. It's just that this kind of thing was a rare treasure, it was not something that could be bought with money. Even if it had the smallest chance of turning a holy beast into a holy beast, it was still a treasure that warriors yearned for even in their dreams. What do you know? My wishing Dutchman's pipe is grown using God's dew, God's wine and God's water. Its flower mud is the source of eternity, do you understand? That is the wishing Dutchman's pipe that will never wither. Whoever obtains it can make a wish forever. Of course, this has to happen every 3 years, but this is still the best treasure in the world. No, I have to ask you for 100 million gold coins. I won't sell it for a single cent less. When the evil Millennium Ancient Tree said this, Prince Tian Luo almost drooled. Prince Tian Luo pulled Yu Yang. Brother-in-law, we must get this thing. If we don't have enough money, I'll go to the Tian Luo treasury to make up for it. Xue Tan Lang was also stunned when he heard this. The wishing Dutchman's pipe that could make a wish forever could actually be sold? There was actually such an idiot in this world? But thinking about it, the evil Millennium Treant had no use for it, because the wishing Dutchman's pipe must be given to a beast by its owner. It was only an evil Treant, not a divine beast. Holding the wishing Dutchman's pipe was like a beggar with a treasure vault but no keys. It would still starve to death. Yu Yang poured all the gold coins that he obtained from the Indong treasury and the gold coins that he obtained from Demon Eye's platinum ring onto the ground, forming a small mountain of gold coins. He stood on top of the small mountain of gold coins, and his attitude was extremely arrogant. As long as you say yes, then all these gold coins will belong to you. On the contrary, if you dare to hesitate or try to bargain with me, I will immediately take the money and leave, never to return again. I will start the countdown now. If you don't say anything within 10 counts, then I will leave. The evil Millennium Ancient Tree's entire body was trembling. It had never seen so many gold coins before. Let alone it, even the Tian Luo prince who had entered the Tian Luo treasury had never seen so much money before. Even if there wasn't 10 million gold here, there would at least be 8 or 9 million gold. Where did Yu Yang rob so much money from? 10, 9, 8, 7, Yu Yang counted very quickly, so quickly that the evil Millennium Ancient Tree didn't even have time to think. The evil Millennium Ancient Tree's eyes flashed with the light of Yen Yen, and it shouted, don't count, I get anxious when you count. Don't count anymore, I agree, let's exchange. Now leave the pile of gold coins, leave immediately. Don't try to take any more gold coins from the pile, because they are all mine now. Forest divinity above, I have been poor for 10,000 years, I finally have money. Ahaha, I finally have money. After obtaining the wishing Dutchman's pipe in the crystal bottle, Yu Yang, Tian Luo Prince and Xue Tan Lang used their fastest speed to leave. Firstly, they were afraid that the evil Millennium Ancient Tree would go back on its words, because the wishing Dutchman's pipe that would never wither was too important and too precious. Secondly, they couldn't stand this fellow's greedy look. Tian Luo Prince said that he had seen the greediest rich person, but compared to the evil Millennium Ancient Tree, they were simply incomparable. When they were about to teleport out of the Wood Palace and head towards the Fire Palace, Tian Luo Prince asked, can the ancient cyan sprout tree really be bought with 1,000 gold? Yu Yang smiled but didn't answer. In reality, the ancient cyan sprout tree's base price was 500,000, and it was impossible to buy it without 2 or 3 million. As for the Earth's core dew, that was what Yu Yang wanted the most. The space garden didn't have it at all. Moreover, how could the Earth's core dew be used for bathing and watering flowers? This thing's price in the black market was 1 million per bottle, and even if he wanted to buy it, it wasn't available. Many treasures were priceless existences that could only be found by chance. Chapter 400. The wishing Dutchman's pipe could be said to be the best treasure in the world, but it could also be said to be of little value. This depended on whether wishes could be fulfilled. If wishes could be fulfilled, no other treasure could be compared to it. Of course, this also depended on whether the person making the wish was greedy or not. If the wish was too high, for example, wishing for a bronze-ranked level 1 beast to become diamond-ranked level 10, needless to say, it would definitely fail. After thousands of years of historical records, as well as the experience of countless people making wishes, it was concluded that the wishing Dutchman's pipe's ability to make wishes had extremely strong restrictions and a mysterious probability. It was said that a virgin with a pure body and a pure heart had the highest success rate. If it was a schemer with a dark heart, wanting to use the wishing Dutchman's pipe to make a holy beast would be as difficult as letting a mammoth pass through a needle hole. As for the probability, countless people had concluded many experiences. Almost everyone believed that wishes that were close to the requirements had the highest success rate. In other words, if a beast's strength was already close to a holy beast, and only lacked intelligence, making a wish like this would have a high chance of becoming a holy beast. The other possibility was that the lower the wish, the higher the chance. For example, 2,000 years ago, there was a warrior called Go Wa who made a wish in front of the wishing Dutchman's pipe. He wished that his beast, the dog with scabs, could change into a glossy and smooth fur. In the end, his wish was fulfilled. That dog with scabs evolved and became a howling celestial dog. Many years later, that Go Wa who made a wish also became a famous innate ranker, Tengu. He once fought with howling celestial dog against the great demon king in the demon abyss, resisting the invasion of the demon army. Although he died in battle, Tengu, who perished together with the two demon kings, was a human rancor that shook the demon abyss. Ordinary people did not know that Go Wa was only a level 2 brave man before making a wish. To the demon kings, he was just an ant. After making a wish, the dog became a howling celestial dog, and Go Wa became a Tengu, able to fight against the two demon kings. This was the power of the wishing Dutchman's pipe. Brother-in-law, don't go to the wood palace ever again, or else the evil millennium ancient tree will kill you, definitely. Prince Tianluo felt that Yu Yang was too evil. He had never seen such an evil person. Even if the evil millennium ancient tree was 100 times more evil, it still could not compare to him. That's good. Xue Tanlang's cold lips curled into a rare smile. The ever-withering wishing Dutchman's pipe was definitely something that surpassed a god equipment. Even if you offered 10 god equipment, no one would be willing to trade it. Make a wish every 3 years. There were 10 chances in 30 years, and 100 chances in 300 years. Could it be that not 1 out of 100 attempts had succeeded? If it succeeded once, then the wishing Dutchman's pipe would be worth it. If it succeeded twice, then it would be worth it. As for 1/10 of the success rate, that was enough to make all the treasures in the world, including divine weapons, pale in comparison. One must know that not everyone in this world could be like the abnormal Yu Yang, who had so many guardian beasts, so many holy beasts, and even a divine beast like Hui Tai Lang. Other martial artists could only dream of a sacred beast for their entire lives. Having a holy beast was already the dream of every martial artist. Don't worry. Let me study it slowly and find the method with the highest success rate. Then, we'll test it one by one. Actually, Yu Yang did not expect to be able to mass-produce holy beasts. That was impossible. However, it was definitely possible to use the wishing Dutchman's pipe to raise the level of his beasts and help them break through some kind of bottleneck. The biggest obstacle for a beast to become a holy beast was its own potential, or some kind of natural bottleneck that could not be broken through. As long as it could break through, there was still hope for it to level up step by step. For example, a beast that had never had any intelligence, if it had a trace of intelligence, even if it was a very faint spiritual sense, it would still be the beginning of its growth into a holy beast. Whether it could become a holy beast in the end, at least it had the chance to do so. Leaving the wood palace, they entered the fire palace. The huge lava river had caused Xue Tanlang's battle power to drop to its lowest point. On the contrary, Prince of Tianluo had recovered his battle power. This was because his guardian beast Skyfire Meteor was of the fire attribute. It could unleash its godly might in this fire palace, or even become stronger. The two of them temporarily separated from Yu Yang. Yu Yang, the treasure-hunting maniac, naturally went to the center of the lava river to fight the boss. Prince of Tian Luo and Xue Tan Lang could not help here, so they followed the flow of the river, hoping to find their lost companions. Along the way, they left various markings, hoping that their companions would see them and follow them quickly. More than 10 kilometers away from them, Anna and Lin An were resting on a rock, exhausted. With Hui Tai Lang around, the two golden elves were very safe. However, the mercenaries who were further away were in big trouble as they ran away pathetically. O Zhen led the Iron Blood Guards and dozens of adventurers who were following him and quickly flew forward. The fire monsters and flame demons followed behind them in the lava river, chasing them relentlessly. 5 minutes later, O Zhen found Anna and Lin An. Although he was in danger, the helpful O Zhen still raised his voice and shouted, "Don't move, I'll come and save you immediately. Don't move, wait for me." Under Anna and Lin An's dumbfounded gaze, O Zhen personally lured away the flame demons and fire monsters that were chasing them. He quickly turned back and flew in front of Hui Tai Lang, panting a little as he said to Lin An, Quickly bring your pet dog, we have to leave. Those monsters in the lava river will catch up to us soon. Why are they not chasing us anymore?" All the fire monsters and flame demons stopped 1,000 meters away. Their beasts' instincts told them that this place was very dangerous, especially the fire monsters that Hui Tai Lang had missed. After they came out from the lava river and communicated with each other, the large group of flame demons and fire monsters quickly stopped. The gold-ranked level 10 flame demon commander also growled softly. A few flame demon commanders walked back and forth, but facing the lazy Hui Tai Lang, they did not dare to rashly attack him. This was because too many of their companions had been killed nearby. The remaining aura of death made them deeply afraid. The only thing that puzzled them was that the source of the threat was actually a bronze-ranked level 3 ironback demonic wolf. Without any verbal communication, not knowing what had happened, and not having enough intelligence to understand the truth, the few flame demon commanders stopped 1,000 meters away. They were confused, angry and fearful as they surrounded O Zhen's Iron Blood Guards and many adventurers from afar. "Don't worry, it's already safe. Hui Tai Lang will protect everyone. Don't stray too far from him, wait for our teammates to come and rescue us." The kind-hearted Anna comforted O Zhen instead. "What, using a pet dog to protect us?" When the mercenaries heard this, some spat, some rolled their eyes, and some laughed out loud. "Woof!" Hui Tai Lang expressed his disdain towards these people's reactions. "I'm guessing that there's some kind of treasure here that prevented the fire monsters from approaching." A few mercenaries even fantasized that they had found the place where the treasure was kept. Fire-type monsters require ice-type and water-type beasts to restrain them. However, among us these two types of beasts are the least. Even if there are, they are all healing-type beasts. It's fine if the fire monsters don't attack us now, but I'm afraid that there might be changes. O Zhen didn't really care about Hui Tai Lang. Not to mention that Hui Tai Lang's level was low, the most important thing was that it was lazy and lacked spirit. It didn't look like a strong beast at all. Furthermore, it didn't have a contract, so how could they count on it when its loyalty wasn't guaranteed? O Zhen really didn't dare to believe Anna's words. Anna and Lin An were different from Bao Er, the big lowly who had just entered the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower not long ago. The two of them had been training in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower for a long time, so they knew that people's hearts were complicated and unpredictable. They also wouldn't reveal Hui Tai Lang's true situation in front of everyone. As for its identity as a divine beast, they didn't even mention a word about it. Thinking that there was a treasure restricting the fire monsters, some of the mercenaries who could summon fire-type beasts started to think. They tried to run to the periphery, But when they saw that the fire monsters really didn't dare to come in, they immediately became complacent and regained their confidence. They commanded their fire-type beasts that were good at long range to attack the fire monsters and flame demons, thinking that this was a heaven-sent opportunity. With the protection of the treasure, they could just attack the monsters and not retaliate. How good would that be? Unfortunately, this naive idea didn't even last for a minute. The flame demon commander that was being attacked waved its flaming arms, and hundreds of flame demons and fire monsters charged forward, dragging the mercenaries who thought that they had gotten a great bargain into the lava river, tearing them apart and eating them alive. There were even a few lava fire snakes that didn't have any intelligence that crawled greedily towards Ojen's group. The mercenaries scattered like ants on a hot pan, scurrying everywhere. Ojen and the Iron Blood Guards secretly gritted their teeth, preparing to fight to the death with the little strength they had on hand and break out of the enemy's encirclement. At this moment, Ojen said to Lin En and Anna, "Wait for me to lead the team out, you guys escape to the west immediately. I will send 2 Iron Blood Guards to cover you guys." Anna hurriedly waved her hands to prevent these people from dying in vain. "All of you don't move. With Hui Tai Lang here, those flame demons wouldn't dare to attack us. It will protect us. If you guys don't leave this place, it might also protect you guys. If you guys stay by our side, it will be the safest." What? Ojen was stunned when he heard Anna say it so seriously for the second time. Golden elves wouldn't lie, but it was too ridiculous previously, so he didn't take it to heart. Now that he heard it again, he couldn't help but look at Hui Tai Lang seriously. Could this bronze-ranked level 3 ironback demonic wolf really protect people? It wasn't strange to say that it was a fire type. After all, fire and earth were the attributes that most beasts possessed. However, forget about a gold-ranked level 10 flame demon commander. It wouldn't even be able to defeat a bronze-ranked level 6 flame demon. The opponent's level was high, and they had the geographical advantage. This ironback demonic wolf was a living being. Although it was also a fire type, it would definitely die if it fell into the lava river. In this kind of situation, it would be good enough if it could protect itself. Not only Ojen couldn't believe it, even the stupid mercenaries who were usually stupid couldn't believe it. Bronze-ranked level 3 versus bronze-ranked level 6. It was obvious. A black shadow flashed. Boom boom. 2 loud explosions shook the entire mountain wall. The lava river also stirred up a wave of lava. 2 lava fire snakes that were about 10 meters long were easily killed by Hui Tai Lang on the rock. The snakes' heads exploded, and lava splashed all over the ground. Everyone's jaws dropped to the ground. The lava fire snakes were bronze-ranked level 8. Forget about this fire palace. Even if they were outside, normal mercenaries wouldn't dare to provoke them. This was because they were basically the same as lava, except that they were in the shape of a snake. They were a fire-type beast. If it wasn't for the fact that their attributes countered each other, it would be extremely difficult to fight against these lava fire snake. Usually, they would have to grind away all the lava in their bodies, then use a large amount of cold water to harden them, and dig out the magic crystals in their skulls before they would die. However, the lava fire snakes that were extremely difficult to deal with were instantly killed. The one that killed them was a bronze-ranked level 3 ironback demonic wolf. How could they dare to believe their eyes? Impossible! A few mercenary leaders cried out. They couldn't accept this fact. Hui Tai Lang dug out 2 fiery red magic crystals from the lava and swallowed them in one gulp. Then, it slowly walked back. Wherever it passed, the remaining lava fire snakes quickly escaped, scared to the point that they didn't know where they were going. The mercenaries were also shocked to the point that they split apart, revealing a passage in the middle. Hui Tai Lang slowly walked back to the tallest rock and lazily lay down to take a nap. Everyone looked at its eyes again. Their disbelief had turned into shock. Including Ojen, it was the same. The truth was right in front of their eyes. They had no choice but to believe it. This instant kill had caused the flame demon commander to immediately retreat 1,000 meters. Many of the fire monsters were so scared that they hid into the lava river, not daring to come out for a long time. Is it a holy beast? Jen swallowed his saliva with difficulty after a long time and asked with a hoarse voice. I don't know either, because it's not my beast. Lin smiled and shook his head. He really wanted to say that it was a divine beast, a divine beast. So it's a holy beast, no wonder it looks so powerful and handsome. Look at its shiny fur, you can tell that it's a holy beast with one look. The mercenaries who recovered from their shock immediately started to flatter. I've already said that it looks extraordinary. Have any of you seen a bronze-ranked level 3 ironback demonic wolf appearing in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower? No. Except for this holy beast. TSK, this holy beast really has a personality. Look at its ears, it looks too majestic. There's no other way. I've decided to change my mercenary team's name to Demon Wolf Mercenary Team. Another mercenary leader praised shamelessly, causing Hui Tai Lang to almost vomit when he heard it. In terms of corny, this fellow was 100 times more corny than Fatty High's flattery. Fatty High only flattered because he had a request, unlike these fellows who were born to be flatterers. In the middle of the lava lake far away, a tornado suddenly erupted. Countless amounts of lava were sucked into the sky by the tornado, forming a terrifying yet magnificent spectacle. Hui Tai Lang felt it and immediately jumped up in excitement. He was no longer sleepy. Master! His master was in the middle of the lava lake far away. He was fighting, and that tornado was the spirit of Flame and Smoke's body. Hui Tai Lang's blood boiled as he howled towards the sky. His whole body emitted the aura of a demon king. Black hellfire rose from his body and formed a pair of flaming wings that were more than 10 meters long. In an instant, the flaming wings flapped and he soared into the sky. Like a meteor, he shot towards the lava lake far away, heading straight for his master. Chapter 401. Oh my God! All the mercenaries were almost scared to death. Many of them almost suffocated to death when Hui Tai Lang emitted a demon-like aura. Oh no, it flew away. Some of them realized that something was wrong. The wolf had grown wings and flew away. What would happen to them? If it wasn't for its protection, the flame demon commanders wouldn't mind eating orc meat or human meat for dinner. They wouldn't even mind eating coarse Tauren meat. Quickly think of a way. Someone shouted at Anna and Lin in desperation, asking them to think of a way to save everyone. Call it back. Some shameless fellows thought that Hui Tai Lang was their watchdog. Sorry, we are not its master. Call it back if you have the ability. Lin felt disgusted when he saw how selfish these fellows were. He spread his hands, indicating that he could not help even if he wanted to. Don't worry, its master is fighting over there. Didn't you see that the fire monsters and flame demons are rushing back to help? Anna sneered. The mercenaries turned around and realized that it was true. The fire monsters and flame demons that surrounded everyone in the lava river seemed to have received some kind of order and rushed to the place where the firestorm rose into the sky. Even some fire eels that were hiding at the bottom of the river came out. Seeing that the crisis was over, everyone heaved a long sigh of relief, including Jen, who was a seasoned warrior. He felt as if he had escaped from death. After all, the restriction of the Fire Palace's rules was too strong. Almost everyone's combat power had been reduced to the lowest. Only a small number of warriors with fire-type beasts had some combat power. After the danger passed, these fellows started to have evil thoughts again. That holy beast has a master? No, it doesn't seem to have a contract. When this sentence was said, many people were shocked. If we can contract that holy beast. Some of them knew that it was impossible, but they could not help but fantasize. Moreover, those who fantasized too much were already drooling. Seeing their shameless looks, Zhen felt disgusted. He felt ashamed that he was associated with these greedy fellows who overestimated themselves. He ordered the Iron Blood Guards to surround Lin En and Anna. Although these people had not launched a sneak attack, it was hard to predict a person's heart. He had to take defensive measures. Fool! A dragon hunter hidden among the mercenaries summoned a scarlet flame flying dragon and laughed. Although it's a little regretful that I can't get the treasures here, it's still a good harvest to be able to take this opportunity to kill you all. Die. This red flame flying dragon was a gold-ranked level 7. If everyone could attack it, it would not be hard to defeat it. Unfortunately, under the rules, the Iron Blood Guards, who mainly had strengthening-type beasts, were unable to retaliate. Even if they were beaten, the consequences would be unimaginable. Zhen's heart sank. Oh no, I forgot that there are still evil dragon hunters hiding in the team. When Grey Wolf arrived at the lava lake, Yang was hovering in the air. The spirit of flame and smoke was using her tornado to absorb the lava below, stirring up the flames in the sky. She was fighting against 2 Fire Palace Guardians at the King Stage. The King Stage Guardian below that could not fly was the Purgatory Flame King. Its body was as big as a mountain giant. It was 30 meters tall and weighed 100 tons. It was platinum-ranked level 7, and its entire body was made up of lava and lava. Its temperature was so high that no living creature could get close to it. Compared to the King of Blacklight, the Purgatory Flame King's killing power was much more terrifying. Under normal circumstances, it would also be a powerful beast that would cause a headache. In this fire palace where only fire-type beasts could fight, it was an invincible existence. In the sky, the other King Stage Guardian was the Red Spirit Fire Demoness. Although she was only platinum-ranked level 6, her battle power was not any weaker than the Purgatory Flame King. She who had evolved into a humanoid form had more intelligence than the Purgatory Flame King. After a long period of time and slow evolution, although she was not yet a King Stage Guardian, she might be able to evolve into a holy beast in the future. As for the stronger Purgatory Flame King, it would never be possible. This was the fundamental difference between the 2 King Stage beasts. The Red Spirit Fire Demoness was 5 meters tall and her whole body was covered in raging flames. Although she was not very agile when she flew, and her speed was also slowed down because of her heavy body, a King Stage beast that could fly was completely different from a King Stage beast that could not fly. Not only could the Red Spirit Fire Demoness fly, she also knew how to use weapons. She waved a gold-ranked fire scythe in her hands and continuously slashed at Yang. Of course, this was futile, because Yang's speed was 100 times faster than hers. He could even stand on the tip of the fire scythe and take a leisurely stroll. The fire scythe was useless against Yang, and it was even more useless against the spirit of flame and smoke, who was in her hurricane state. The Red Spirit Fire Demoness was originally depressed, but when she saw Hui Tai Lang flying towards her, she immediately changed her target and fiercely rushed towards Hui Tai Lang. Howl! Hui Tai Lang, who wanted to show off in front of his master, why would he be afraid of her? That was exactly what he wanted. Hui Tai Lang's claws transformed like mercury, extended and tore towards the Red Spirit Fire Demoness' head. The Red Spirit Fire Demoness retreated slightly, and the fire scythe slashed down heavily, cutting Hui Tai Lang's back in half. Not only that, the Red Spirit Fire Demoness even used the lava to form a whip, sending Hui Tai Lang's severed body flying. This time, she thought that Hui Tai Lang was dead for sure. Who would have thought that Hui Tai Lang would not care at all? He who already had an immortal body like Huang Sha, the severed body turned into golden sand and danced in the air, as if it had a life of its own. It returned to his body and transformed back into his original body, instantly recovering to its original state. The fire scythe that had severed half of his body was held tightly by his mercury-like front claws. The flames of the fire scythe were completely ineffective against him. After absorbing the level 8 innate Huang Sha's star core, Hui Tai Lang had an immortal body. Unless the star core in his body was completely destroyed, it was impossible to kill the current Hui Tai Lang. After leveling up to a divine beast, he had the ability to mimic, transform, and fly. His battle power had also increased by 100 times. A mere red spirit fire demoness wanted to kill him? Easier said than done. Possessing gold, dark and fire attributes, Hui Tai Lang was much stronger than Huang Sha's immortal body. Huang Sha's immortal body's weakness was water. Hui Tai Lang's weaknesses were water and light. On the surface, it seemed that Hui Tai Lang had more weaknesses than Huang Sha, but it was not a fatal weakness. Water and light would definitely not be able to kill Hui Tai Lang, because his body had the gold attribute. The two attributes complemented each other and complemented each other's weaknesses. Hui Tai Lang's body could be considered as an immortal body, and this was only the current stage. In the future, when he could fully unleash the power of his origin, combined with the heaven runes and innate qi, he believed that he would reach an unimaginable realm. Yu Yang's nurturing of Hui Tai Lang was no longer satisfied with being a divine beast. He hoped that one day, Hui Tai Lang would be able to surpass a divine beast like Xiao Wenli, and become an existence like a transcending divine beast. Hui Tai Lang and Little Wenli's growth direction were different, so their starting points were also different. When Little Wenli was born, she already had a diamond grimoire. Yu Yang was not too sure, but he reckoned that Little Wenli was already a transcending divine beast when she was born. Hui Tai Lang was trash from the start. He might never become a transcending divine beast like Little Wenli, or an immortal beast like the Phoenix Sisters, but Yu Yang still hoped that he could surpass all other divine beasts in the world and become the strongest beast in the world. Just like how not every thorny flower could become a golden-crowned thorny flower queen, not every wolf could become a world-exterminating demon wolf. These creatures were the pinnacle existences, and they were all unique. The golden-crowned thorny flower queen was unique. The world-exterminating demon wolf was also unique. Hui Tai Lang did not need to become someone else. It did not need to become an existence like Little Wenli, Red, Duo or Ah-Man. It only needed to be itself. This was because it was Hui Tai Lang, the only and irreplaceable Hui Tai Lang in the world. The Hui Tai Lang today was able to surpass all other wolves in the world and become the only world-exterminating demon wolf in the world. It could even continue to improve in the future. Its growth process was definitely a legend, a miracle among miracles. Of course, if it was not for Yu Yang, this abnormal guy from another world, giving it everything, Hui Tai Lang would definitely not be the Hui Tai Lang that it was today. Seeing that Hui Tai Lang had an immortal body, the red spirit fire demoness was terrified and quickly retreated. The huge fire scythe was swallowed by Hui Tai Lang, which had turned into mercury. Suddenly, it flew in front of Yu Yang, seeking its master's help. Yu Yang stretched out his hand and drew a heaven-rune circle on its body. He also injected a large amount of innate qi into it, helping it to swallow and assimilate the fire scythe. A dark golden light emitted from Hui Tai Lang's body, illuminating the heaven and earth. The devouring fire scythe slowly appeared on Hui Tai Lang's back. Every time Yu Yang drew a heaven rune, it would be slowly absorbed by the fire scythe. The first rune's characteristic was assimilation, the second was transformation, and the third was return. After the fire scythe was fixed, the fire scythe emerged from Hui Tai Lang's back and flew towards the sky with raging flames. However, when it landed, it avoided its original owner, the red spirit fire demoness, and returned to its new owner, Hui Tai Lang. The red spirit fire demoness panicked. She never thought that the treasure that she refined would be swallowed and assimilated by the enemy on the spot. Howl, 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 howl. Hui Tai Lang let out a proud roar. The deafening roar shook the heavens and the earth. The entire fire palace was reverberating with the roar, lingering in the air. black hell flames spurted out from its body, forming a long flaming tail. It wrapped around its new weapon, the gold-ranked True Essence Fire Scythe. As if it was waving its arm, it ruthlessly slashed towards the shocked Red Spirit Fire Demoness, extremely fast. The Red Spirit Fire Demoness could not dodge in time, and was already cut into half by the True Essence Fire Scythe, just like Hui Tai Lang. The Red Spirit Fire Demoness, who possessed the heart of raging fire, was also not in danger. As long as she returned to the lava lake to recuperate, she would be able to recover in a month. However, the situation on the battlefield changed rapidly. The spirit of flame and smoke that attacked the Purgatory Flame King just now suddenly floated out from the tornado and transformed into a flaming woman. She rushed down and hugged the severed body of the Red Spirit Fire Demoness, absorbing the fire energy crazily. The Red Spirit Fire Demoness screamed when she saw this. However, she did not dare to get close to the spirit of flame and smoke at all, because the source of the spirit of flame and smoke contained a trace of nirvana flame that she was afraid of, as well as the lightning that paralyzed her. In less than half a minute, the severed body that had lost control of its consciousness was completely absorbed by the spirit of flame and smoke. It gradually turned into jet-black rocks and fell into the lava lake. The body of the spirit of flame and smoke became clearer. Originally, half of her legs below her waist were flames and thick smoke. Now, she gradually had a human form. She had 2 legs. With just a little more fire energy, she could level up. Eager to level up, she looked at the injured Red Spirit Fire Demoness. In the instincts of the spirit of flame and smoke, the other party was not a living thing, but a delicious and nourishing food. The Red Spirit Fire Demoness was shocked and angry. She really wanted to kill the spirit of flame and smoke, but in the Fire Palace, it was impossible to kill the spirit of flame and smoke. This was not something that could be decided by level and power. When creatures of the same element fought in the same environment, it would depend on the skills of both parties. Or, it would depend on the intelligence of both parties. Whoever was smarter, who knew how to seize the opponent's weakness and make use of their own advantages, would be able to obtain the final victory. Hui Tai Lang, who had switched opponents, turned into a meteorite and curled up into a ball, crashing towards the head of the Purgatory Flame King. The force of the collision shook the entire lava lake. The Purgatory Flame King fell into the lava lake, stirring up lava that was a few hundred meters high. As for Hui Tai Lang, who had used his new form to collide with an enemy for the first time, he was dizzy from the impact. After returning to his original wolf form, he flapped his fire wings and flew askew on the surface of the lake, looking very much like a drunken mercenary. Yu Yang was overjoyed. He had never seen such an idiot before. He reckoned that only Hui Tai Lang would be able to collide with a lava giant like the Purgatory Flame King. However, Yu Yang did not correct him. He did not care how Hui Tai Lang attacked. Because this was battle, this was growth, this was the process of learning. Chapter 402. The Purgatory Flame King stretched out his giant hands, grabbed Hui Tai Lang and dragged him into the lava lake. Any living beast would not be able to fight against the terrain of the Fire Palace. The right time and the right place could change the outcome of a battle more than a beast's strength. For example, the gold-ranked level 10 golden mammoth was invincible on the battlefield, but if it fell off a cliff that was thousands of meters high, it would die immediately. Another example would be the Purgatory Flame King, who seemed to be invincible. If it fell into the lake, it would die without a fight and turn into a pile of rubble. It was easy to defeat the spirit army that could not be attacked. All it needed was a ray of warm sunlight. There were countless examples like this. Hui Tai Lang was definitely not willing to take a lava bath. As it flapped its wings, it swung its True Essence Fire Scythe at the Purgatory Flame King's head with its tail. Sparks flew and rubble flew all over the sky. Gold-ranked weapons did little damage to the Purgatory Flame King's stone body. Moreover, the force of the flapping wings was incomparable to the pulling force of the Purgatory Flame King's giant arms. After struggling for a few seconds, Hui Tai Lang was dragged into the lava lake. It struggled with all its might, but to no avail. Yu Yang looked on quietly without any intention to stop it. The flame demon commanders and various fire monsters that rushed back to help appeared in the distance. Only a few of them knew how to attack from a distance. They spat lava and fireballs at Yu Yang. Of course, these were meaningless. Although Yu Yang was restricted by the ancient code and did not need to fight personally, he still had his abilities. He could even ignore these harmless attacks. When he was in the air, Yu Yang only needed to move his body slightly to avoid all the fireballs and lava. When the spirit of flame and smoke saw Hui Tai Lang being dragged into the lava lake, she seemed to be a little angry. She released an earth-shattering tornado that almost sucked the Purgatory Flame King's body into the air. The Purgatory Flame King grabbed onto the red-hot rocks at the edge of the lake and stabilized himself in the tornado. If it was not for its 100-ton weight, it would not have been able to escape the strong suction of the tornado. Countless amounts of lava were sucked into the sky and splashed everywhere. It formed a rain of lava. Some of the nearby flame demons and fire monsters couldn't escape in time and were instantly sucked into the sky. Within the center of the whirlwind, their bodies fell apart and exploded, dying miserably on the spot. In the distance, there was a rather large red-hot rock. A fireball covered in magma climbed up and shook its body like a drowning dog. After a long time, when the lava splashed onto the surface of the rock, what was revealed was the battered and exhausted gray wolf. This lava lake was unable to kill him who possessed an immortal body, but it made him sneeze a few times, and it seemed to be very uncomfortable. The Purgatory Flame King pounced over and grabbed Hui Tai Lang's body, preparing to drag it into the lava lake. However, the same trick was ineffective against Hui Tai Lang. Its body turned into flames, and the giant hand couldn't catch its body that was made of pure flames. Its fingers pierced through the middle. The fiery gray wolf meowed proudly, meow. In other words, it was probably saying, "Small fry, this move is already outdated." It was a pity that even cats couldn't understand its foreign language. The Purgatory Flame King punched the rock under Hui Tai Lang's feet into pieces, but the fiery gray wolf was still floating in the air, unharmed. The long tail of fire wrapped around the True Essence Fire Scythe and struck the Purgatory Flame King like raindrop. The True Essence Fire Scythe made many shallow cracks on the hard rock. Of course, these wounds were insignificant to the Purgatory Flame King and didn't cause any harm. Just like that, Hui Tai Lang couldn't do anything to the Purgatory Flame King, and the Purgatory Flame King couldn't do anything to Hui Tai Lang. For the time being, the two of them were tied. Hui Tai Lang barely had the upper hand, as it still had the possibility of defeating the Purgatory Flame King, as long as it could find a useful method. However, the Purgatory Flame King definitely had no chance of defeating the fiery gray wolf. On the other side, the spirit of flame and smoke was bullying the red spirit fire demoness, which was of a higher level. The injured red spirit fire demoness wanted to hide in the lava lake, but the spirit of flame and smoke had the ability to chase her into the lava lake, and she liked to live in the lava. Although the red spirit fire demoness was stronger than the spirit of flame and smoke, her attacks were completely ineffective on the spirit of flame and smoke. On the contrary, the spirit of flame and smoke's nirvana flame and lightning could hurt the red spirit fire demoness, especially the trace of nirvana flame, which made the red spirit fire demoness fear it even more. The two of them chased each other and left the central region in the blink of an eye. The spirit of flame and smoke looked at Yu Yang and realized that he didn't stop her, so she immediately chased after him, swearing to devour his fire energy completely. The Purgatory Flame King was beaten up by Hui Tai Lang. Whenever there was a chance, Hui Tai Lang would fly into the sky and turn into a meteor, causing the strongest guardian of the fire palace to have a headache. It decided to hide in the lava lake and temporarily hide from the enemy. Although this would damage the demeanor of a king, it was still better than being beaten up by the enemy. When the Purgatory Flame King retreated, Hui Tai Lang's anger soared. If you can't win, just admit defeat and hand over the treasures. Why are you acting like a coward? Hui Tai Lang was really angry this time. Seeing that the flame demon commanders and fire monsters were standing around in a daze, he turned around and killed those small fries. He couldn't beat the big ones, but the small ones were definitely a piece of cake for him. Other than the flame demon commanders, the rest of the fire-type monsters were all killed by Hui Tai Lang. The flame demons and fire monsters scattered, and almost all the fire-type monsters dove into the lava lake. No matter how Hui Tai Lang killed their companions, they refused to come out. Hui Tai Lang howled to the sky, feeling extremely depressed. Although he wasn't afraid of the lava lake's heat, he couldn't catch the enemy if he dove in. Although the fire monsters were weak, once they dove in, they were more agile than the fish and prawns in the lake. Hui Tai Lang chased after them for a long time, but could only stare helplessly. "Ha! Idiot!" Yu Yang laughed when he saw this, but he didn't give Hui Tai Lang any instructions on how to fight, and let Hui Tai Lang think for himself. Woo! Hui Tai Lang realized that his master wasn't willing to help, so he turned his eyes and transformed into a pair of fire wings to help the spirit of flame and smoke attack the injured red spirit fire demoness. This was indeed the best way. When the red spirit fire demoness saw Hui Tai Lang coming, she was so scared that she didn't know where to run. If she chose to escape back to the Purgatory Flame King's side, with the Purgatory Flame King's huge body as a cover, she believed that there would be a chance for a long battle. The red spirit fire demoness panicked and fled, completely losing her target. In the end, it was the beginning of a tragedy. Her strength was far from Hui Tai Lang's, her speed was slightly slower, and her intelligence and ability were worlds apart. The only advantage she had was that she could enter the lava lake to recover her energy. However, this advantage was completely meaningless in the presence of the spirit of flame and smoke. In the lava lake, the spirit of flame and smoke was much stronger than the red spirit fire demoness, and she could even directly absorb the pure fire energy in her opponent's body. In less than a minute, the red spirit fire demoness was hit by Hui Tai Lang's heavy attack. In the midst of her dizziness, Hui Tai Lang threw her onto the rock wall, and the red spirit fire demoness body sank deep into the rock wall. The spirit of flame and smoke quickly pounced on her and absorbed the opponent's pure fire energy crazily. The red spirit fire demoness also wanted to struggle, but Hui Tai Lang was like an accomplice of a rapist, firmly holding her down, allowing the spirit of flame and smoke to go berserk and steal everything from the red spirit fire demoness. In the end, even the fire crystal core was sucked out and directly refined with the Origin's Nirvana flame. After completely absorbing the fire energy and devouring the fire crystal core, the spirit of flame and smoke's body shone with a golden light. Raging flames soared to the sky. Thick smoke rose to the sky like a volcano eruption, covering half of the fire palace. Thunder and lightning flashed in the smoke, rumbling and exploding. After absorbing the red spirit fire demoness energy, the spirit of flame and smoke gradually started to evolve, changing into a new form. The new form was more human-like, her 10 fingers were very clear, and even her feet started to grow toes. Although it was not perfect yet, her form had changed. It could be said that this was a new birth. Whether it was the surface of her body or the inside of her body, there were many human-like organs. Of course, all of these were formed by the fire energy, they just looked similar. The red spirit fire demoness crystal core was refined, and gradually became a heart. It was very different from a human's heart. It was a ball of pulsating earth core flame, with a high temperature of thousands of degrees. Yu Yang's grimoire appeared, and the pages turned automatically. The spirit of flame and smoke had evolved and changed her class, but she could not level up. She had evolved into the spirit of earth fire. Looks like the evolution is just the beginning. Yu Yang remembered that she was initially the spirit of flame and smoke, then she became the spirit of flame and smoke, and now she had evolved into the spirit of earth fire after absorbing the earth core flame. Could it be that she could become the spirit of heaven fire in the future? Or even the spirit of nirvana? The future evolution was still unknown, but Yu Yang was looking forward to the future evolution of the spirit of earth fire. In other words, evolution was definitely a good thing. No matter which direction the beast evolved in, as long as it could evolve, it would be a good thing. Now, the spirit of earth fire's black hair, flames as her body, windstorm as her mount, and lightning as her weapon appeared. The tragic fate of the Purgatory Flame King had also started. Although the spirit of earth fire's body was still very far from a human, her black hair was still blurry, her windstorm was more like a spiral than a human's horse, and her lightning was not as solid as a weapon. Most of the lightning was flickering on her arms, but Yu Yang was overjoyed. No evolution of a beast could compare to intelligence. The spirit of earth fire's intelligence and control were still lacking, but her soul sense had already been opened. As long as she persisted in evolving, she would definitely follow the Bloody Queen Red and Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen Duo in the future, becoming a holy beast. She was at least consciously moving towards the direction of becoming a human. The Purgatory Flame King could barely resist it previously, but after evolving into the spirit of earth fire, the Purgatory Flame King immediately jumped out the moment she entered the lava lake. The Purgatory Flame King realized that he was no longer the master of the earth fire against a spirit of earth fire that could directly absorb fire energy from the lake. Most of the fire energy in the lava lake was controlled by the other party. If he did not come out, he would probably be frozen at the bottom of the lake forever due to the loss of temperature. The result would be that the enemy would slowly absorb all the fire energy and die of exhaustion. Boom boom! The Purgatory Flame King hit the surface of the lava lake angrily, waving both of his arms as he swam away with all his might. Meow! Hui Tai Lang was overjoyed, thinking that this day had finally come for you. It reminded the opponent not to forget about itself. Together with the spirit of earth fire, they attacked the stupid Purgatory Flame King from the top and below. Even if the Purgatory Flame King could hold on for a while, it would definitely be a tragedy in the future. Yu Yang did not need to continue watching to know that the outcome of the battle was already decided. The only problem was whether Hui Tai Lang could eat the Purgatory Fire Crystal in the Purgatory Flame King's brain before the spirit of earth fire. With Hui Tai Lang's cunning, the spirit of earth fire, who was not intelligent enough, would most likely succeed. If it was the Bloody Queen or the Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen, Hui Tai Lang would definitely not succeed. Even the Barbarian Cow Shadow's chances were not high. The loyal Barbarian Cow Shadow would probably snatch it forcefully and give it to her master. Alright, Hui Tai Lang could still bully the spirit of earth fire and the Reaper Mantis, at least for now. After absorbing this Purgatory Fire Crystal, Yu Yang believed that Hui Tai Lang's battle power would increase a little. He did not expect it to increase in a short period of time. It would be good enough if its bronze grimoire could level up. After all, rice had to be eaten one bite at a time. After finding the Fire Palace's teleportation circle, Yu Yang left the Scorching Fire Palace and teleported to the last palace of the Five Elements Palace, Earth Palace. As soon as he teleported, before he even landed on the ground, he found a large group of people below him. All of them were cowering on the back of the Herculean rhinoceros beetle. They were surrounded by thousands of coyotes and sand spiders. The funniest thing was that there was a platinum-ranked level 10 King of Earth that was more than 50 meters tall. It was shaking its huge stone head and waving its huge arms as it made a bet with a skinny human. The person who was especially skinny and small in comparison was obviously Yi Kong. If you lose, 10 people will belong to me. Come here immediately and we will bet again. If you win, I will return you 20 people. If you lose, you will lose another 10 to me. Come, 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 don't hesitate. You are not a man if you hesitate. If you don't come down, I will catch you myself. If I accidentally break your bones, don't blame me for being violent. This king of earth was so intelligent. Needless to say, it was definitely a holy beast. It was only 3 levels higher than the Purgatory Flame King, but its power was at least 100 times stronger. Not to mention that it was an invincible existence in the Earth Palace. Even outside, Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, Li Brothers, Xue Tan Lang, Prince of Tian Luo and all the adventurers that came in together might not be able to defeat this King of Earth. The King of Earth had a skill. As long as its feet were on the ground, the earth would continuously send energy to it. In other words, it would never run out of energy. It was the same as the thorny flower, rooting. In fact, it was even more convenient and direct than the thorny flower, rooting. In addition to the King of Earth's gigantic body that was 50 meters tall and weighed a few hundred tons, let alone its attack power, it could even roll on the ground and crush a large group of people to death. If they really fought, Yi Kong would probably die even if he had 100 lives. Even if he had the Herculean rhinoceros beetle, he would definitely not be able to withstand more than a few punches from the opponent. However, the gamble was still sloppy. Yi Kong gambled for a long time, with some wins and some losses. He managed to tie with the holy beast King of Earth. It was just that his luck was a little bad this time. Before Yu Yang came, he had already lost more than 10 rounds. Other than losing the sand spiders that he won, he had also lost 60 of his companions to the King of Earth. Why would the King of Earth gamble with Yi Kong? This really made Yu Yang extremely puzzled. Could it be that this King of Earth had stayed in the Earth Palace for too long and was bored to death? Rock, paper, scissors. Wow, I'm rock, you're scissors, you lost again. Ha, come, give me 10 more people. When Yu Yang saw that the bet between the King of Earth and Yi Kong was actually rock, paper, scissors, he almost fell to the ground. Idiot! Yu Yang flew down like lightning and kicked Yi Kong, who had a bitter face. He rolled up his sleeves. I love rock, paper, scissors the most. I'll bet with you. Chapter 403 Fire Palace by the Lava River. Zhen thought that they were doomed this time. The evil dragon hunter had the red flame flying dragon. Even if he could escape easily, the Iron Blood guards and mercenaries would suffer heavy casualties. What worried him the most was the golden elf girl in front of him. The evil dragon hunter would definitely not let her go. You guys leave quickly. I can hold them off for at least 3 minutes. Let's go. Zhen clenched his teeth and made a decision that surprised even himself. He decided to use his body's defense to resist and let Anna and Lin En escape from the dragon hunter's hands. The Iron Blood guards were quite strong, they should have no problem escaping. As for those shameless mercenaries, Zhen couldn't care less. He only hoped that the most tragic ending would not happen in front of him. Although he couldn't attack or summon his beasts, Zhen still had the strength of a level 1 in 8. It was true that he couldn't summon his beasts and his strength was greatly reduced, but as long as he resisted, he would be able to hold off the gold-ranked level 7 red flame flying dragon for quite some time. Zhen himself wasn't sure if he could survive this fight against the enemy. Not being able to summon beasts meant that his strength had been greatly reduced, and he wouldn't be able to retaliate anymore. It was really... Zhen took out a bag from his storage bracelet and passed it to Lin En and Anna. If you can leave safely, please pass this to Elder Matthew of the Warrior Guild. He will pass it to my family. Lin En and Anna were touched when they saw this. In the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, other than teammates who had gone through life and death together, who would be so noble to sacrifice themselves to save others. Even if it was the rescue team sent by the Warrior Guild, they would first think of their own lives in such a helpless situation. This middle-aged uncle was not bad. He had a noble character and a heart of honor that surpassed normal warriors. Just this sentence alone made Lin En and Anna respect him a lot more. Although Anna was nervous facing the dragon hunter, she did not panic. She advised Ojen instead. The red flame flying dragon is strong, but its weakness is as obvious as its strength. We shouldn't panic. If everyone fights together, then it won't be able to do anything. I believe that Hui Tai Lang will be back soon, don't be discouraged. Lin didn't know that Yu Yang had already left the fire palace. He believed that with Yu Yang around, nothing would happen to him. As long as everyone could delay for time and wait for Yu Yang and Hui Tai Lang to return, a gold-ranked level 7 red flame flying dragon would not even be able to fill the gap between Hui Tai Lang's teeth. Boom! The dozen or so iron blood guards raised the giant shields on their backs and forcibly blocked the scarlet flame flying dragon's arrogant dive and spit. The scarlet flame flying dragon was a creature that had both advantages and disadvantages. Its advantage was that it was stronger than ordinary wyverns. Its body was covered in flames, and it was similar to the magma wyvern. It was almost the strongest wyvern. The scarlet flame flying dragon was faster than the magma flying dragon, but its size was slightly smaller, and it couldn't live in magma. Moreover, it liked to live in groups, and taking turns to spit flames at its prey was its specialty. Other than fire-type beasts that were immune to flames, there were almost no other creatures that could defend against a large group of red flame flying dragons. However, a single crimson flame flying dragon wasn't too scary. This was because the flames it spit were in a straight line, and it was easy for people to dodge. The most important thing was that because its body was relatively small, its whole body was covered in flames, and it lived in groups for a long time, so the scarlet flame flying dragon didn't need to fight in close combat. Gradually, their claws and teeth had deteriorated over the years, and they no longer had the strong close combat abilities of ordinary wyverns. Everyone knew that the scarlet flame flying dragon wasn't good at using its teeth and claws. It was completely different from the close combat and venom-type wyverns. This meant that once it lost its ability to fly and fell to the ground, its battle power would be greatly reduced. If everyone worked together to fight against the scarlet flame flying dragon, they could definitely delay for time. However, when those mercenaries saw the scarlet flame flying dragon diving down, they immediately ran for their lives. Anyway, the dragon hunters weren't looking for them, but the warrior guild's iron blood guards and the 2 golden elves. Since there were people who were going to die for them, they naturally didn't want to meddle in other people's business, so they scattered. Those well-trained iron blood guards knew that they would lose their lives if they scattered, so they all stayed in front of O General. They worked together and raised their shields to defend. Continue to spit fire, roast these iron turtles. That dragon hunter also knew that his scarlet flame flying dragon was not very effective in close combat. He had to keep diving down and spitting fire to kill the enemy, and at the same time, create more panic. Only then would it be easier to kill the enemy. He wasn't in a hurry because the wolf-shaped holy beast, Hui Tai Lang, had already left. It was probably fighting with the guards here, and wouldn't be able to return anytime soon. Defend. O Gen put down the heavy sword on his back, stood at the front of the team, and shouted. Although they would die if they defended, this was the only way. He had to take a gamble. If the wolf-shaped holy beast returned, then everyone would be safe. If not, then everyone would die here. The dragon hunter laughed coldly. You're courting death. In the sky, a meteor suddenly came crashing down, smashing the arrogant dragon hunter into the ground with a boom. Although the dragon hunter didn't die immediately, he was heavily injured. When the dragon hunter shook off the meteor and crawled out in a daze, he saw 2 men standing in front of him. One of them had a face as cold as ice, his hands behind his back, not even looking at the dragon hunter from the corner of his eyes. The other man was so handsome that it made people jealous. He snorted coldly. It's not bad to have a gold-ranked beast, but this is definitely not the right to be arrogant. Bastard. When had the dragon hunter ever suffered such a loss? Who? The scarlet flame flying dragon, who was eager to avenge its master, swooped down and spat a mouthful of flames on the two men's bodies. When the flames touched the handsome man's body, his body immediately ignited with a sky fire that was even hotter and more intense. He completely ignored the spitting flame pillar. What was even more terrifying was the cool man. Although it couldn't be seen on the surface, the moment he was attacked, his body would immediately emit a bone-chilling cold air. The moment the pillar of flame hit the ice cube man's body, it was frozen into an icicle in the shape of a flame. If it wasn't for the fact that physical attacks were forbidden in this space, the scarlet flame flying dragon would probably be killed on the spot by this Iceman. Tan Lang and Prince, it's you guys? Anna and Lin En shouted in surprise. I'll talk to you after I kill this idiot. Prince Tian Luo finally had a chance to show off, so he summoned his Skyfire meteor with great motivation. The dragon hunter was so scared that he immediately turned around and ran. His instincts told him that these two men were not to be trifled with. If he didn't run, he would lose his life. It was too late. Prince Tian Luo's Skyfire meteor was already very strong. Especially after Yu Yang taught him the great totem battle technique and trained with Hui Tai Lang, its original weakness, weak control and slow summoning speed, had been solved. In the ranking of fire-type beasts, if it wasn't for the fact that it hadn't evolved to have intelligence, Skyfire Meteor would probably be one of the strongest existences. If the dragon hunter wasn't in this fire palace, in the space outside where there weren't any restrictions, he might still have a chance to escape. Right now, the dragon hunter could only take a beating and couldn't retaliate. Under Prince Tian Luo's control, the Skyfire meteor in the sky fell to the ground. It made a mysterious turn in the air and smashed the dragon hunter, who was trying to escape, into the ground for the second time. This time, no matter how strong the dragon hunter's body was, he couldn't withstand the Skyfire meteor's two merciless smashes and died on the spot. The scarlet flame flying dragon exploded because of its master's death. The magic crystal in its body flew into the air and fell into Shui Tan Lang's hands. Prince Tian Luo quickly rushed over. He wanted to see if the dragon hunter still had any treasures on him. They had all been led astray by Yu Yang. Every time an enemy died, they would subconsciously look for treasures, forming a battle mentality of kill monsters to level up, pick up the treasures. Oh, Zhen sweated profusely when he saw this. He couldn't see through the youngsters these days. Wood Palace. At this time, Fatty Hai was standing in front of the evil Millennium Ancient Tree, waving his hands and shouting, "Who do you think I am? I am the young master of the Hai clan in the Soaring Dragon continent. Do you know about the Hai clan? I can tell that you haven't heard of us from your ignorance. Our Hai clan is the richest family in the Soaring Dragon continent." "What? I have a lot of gold coins. I don't know what treasures you don't have? This is not good. I hate poor people without treasures. I don't usually talk to poor people, do you understand? This is the style of a rich young master. Alright, if you have something like the Millennium Ancient Tree Heart, you can take it out. You said evil tree roots? What's the use of that? Can it turn a big tree into an evil Treant warrior? It's useless, I don't need it. I don't need this kind of useless thing. If you really want to sell it, I, the benevolent and generous young master, will give you 100 gold coins. You should know that I usually tip beggars the same amount. You actually dare to say that you don't want to sell it? You blockhead, do you know how much the evil tree roots are sold for outside? You will definitely cry if you hear it. This thing is not worth money at all. Plant-type beasts are already outdated now. No one cares about them. Do you think that everyone is as stupid as Titan? He had nowhere to spend his money. Coupled with the fact that he was heartbroken, he gave up on himself to despair. Have you ever seen a fool who would give up his entire fortune for a lousy flower? No. He probably wanted to use the flower to coax his girlfriend, otherwise he wouldn't even be interested in that broken flower of yours. I can at most offer 200 gold coins for the evil tree root. I don't want any more. You are too greedy, you actually dare to say 500 gold coins, be careful that I don't fall out with you. You still have the face to say 500 gold coins for this kind of broken thing? After meeting Yu Yang, he met Fatty Hai again. The evil Millennium Ancient Tree was once again in a tragic state. Of course, it thought that it had made a huge profit and was satisfied. With a base price of 500 gold coins, it sold another 10 evil tree root. Fatty Hai's face was filled with pain, as if his flesh had been cut off, but his heart was blooming with joy. He really couldn't extort any more good things out of them. He strode towards the next palace, and behind him, a wind-breath seabird that he hadn't contracted yet followed. It wasn't that Fatty Hai's contract scroll was ineffective, but this little bird was especially smart. Every time the contract was successful, it would betray him. Fatty Hai decided not to contract it anymore, but this wind-breath seabird still followed him. Every time it didn't like him, it would reward him with a wind blade. Rock, paper, scissors. King of Earth, you lost again. This is the 1008th time you have lost to me. Do you still have coyotes and sand spiders? If you don't have anything to gamble with, then let's end this meaningless gamble. You keep losing, you haven't even won a single round. I win unfairly, there's no pleasure at all. Furthermore, a small gamble is good for the mood, a big gamble is bad for the body. You can't gamble too much, you have to know when to stop. Yu Yang criticized the King of Earth for not living up to his expectations. He looked as tall as a mountain, while the King of Earth, who was as tall as a small mountain, looked like a child who had done something wrong. It lowered its head and sincerely accepted his criticism. Yi Kong and the others were all dumbstruck. They had never seen such a situation in their entire lives, and they couldn't believe it. Let's gamble one last time. I don't have coyotes and sand spiders anymore, I'll use treasures to gamble with you. The King of Earth pleaded weakly. It felt that no matter what, it had to win against this human, or else it would regret it for the rest of its life. It really couldn't accept the fact that it had never won a single time. As long as it could win just once, it would definitely not gamble anymore. It had enough intelligence, it knew that it wasn't this ridiculously smart human's opponent, but it wasn't willing to admit defeat. It had to win. Then, it would win just once. Yu Yang seriously muttered to himself for a long time. All right, seeing how pitiful you are and how you're about to cry, I really can't bear to see you lose so pitifully. Then let's gamble this best round and give you a chance to win. King of Earth, what treasures do you have? Chapter 404. Fire Palace. Facing the Fire Palace's treasure, the Earth Fire Magic Ball, that was so huge that a normal person couldn't even wrap their arms around it. The spirit of Earth Fire's first instinct was to absorb the fire energy within. Because of the existence of the Earth Fire Magic Ball, the Fire Palace was able to produce 2 king-level guardians. The number of fire monsters that were born were also higher and stronger. All of this was due to the power of the Earth Fire Magic Ball. If the spirit of Earth Fire could completely absorb its fire energy, she could definitely level up or even higher. The spirit of Earth Fire, who didn't have much intelligence and mainly acted on instinct, was facing a test. This test was secretly set up by Yu Yang. He discovered the Fire Palace's treasure but didn't keep it like usual. Before the battle ended, Yu Yang left the Fire Palace as if he didn't see the treasure. After the battle ended, Grey Wolf swallowed the Purgatory Flame King's magic crystal before the spirit of Earth Fire could. The spirit of Earth Fire only absorbed a small amount of fire energy. She, who had some intelligence, felt that she was at a disadvantage. Now, facing the Fire Palace's treasure, the Earth Fire Magic Ball, her instinct was to swallow it immediately. Grey Wolf didn't. He knew that it was a taboo to absorb treasures without his master's permission. It was something that his master hated the most. His master allowed him to compete with the spirit of Earth Fire for the Purgatory Flame King's magic crystal because it was a reward for the battle. Each of them could absorb the energy of 2 king-level enemies. However, he had to get his master's permission before he could swallow a treasure, even if it was something that was suitable for him to level up. If not, his master would definitely be angry. Hui Tai Lang's intelligence was higher, and his self-control was stronger as well. He shouted at the spirit of Earth Fire, who was absorbing the fire ability, using all sorts of languages including the howling of wolves, barking of dogs, meowing of cats and roaring of dragons. The spirit of Earth Fire couldn't speak and couldn't understand what Grey Wolf was saying. She could vaguely understand what Grey Wolf was trying to say. What Grey Wolf meant was that this thing couldn't be eaten. She couldn't understand why. Because she didn't have enough intelligence, she could only follow her body's instincts. To her, the Earth Fire magic ball was like a sweet candy to a child. This was Yu Yang's test for her. A test of intelligence and control. Humans had IQ and EQ. IQ determined whether a person's brain worked well or not. The higher the intelligence, the better. EQ and EQ sometimes determined a person's fate and career direction. This was because the biggest difficulty in EQ was a person's self-control. If one's EQ was not high and self-control was weak, then even if one had a smart brain, it would be easy for them to go astray. For example, some outstanding intellectuals would jump off a building to commit suicide when they encountered a small setback, such as a failed relationship. Another example would be some high-ranking officials who knew that they were breaking the law, but they could not resist the temptation of power and money. They would make a wrong decision that they would regret later, or even get lost and sink deeper and deeper. These were all due to a lack of EQ and weak self-control. Even if one had high intelligence and excelled in all aspects, without self-control, one would not be able to withstand the test of time. It could be said that the biggest difference between humans and animals was the superiority of intelligence and emotional intelligence. Intelligence and emotional intelligence were usually combined together. People with high emotional intelligence would usually have high intelligence too. This kind of person would be very knowledgeable and have good moral character. When faced with problems, they would have strong self-control and would not be easily tempted. However, it was not the opposite. High intelligence did not equate to high emotional intelligence. Animals had almost no emotional intelligence, except for those that had little contact with humans. For example, some loyal and devoted watchdogs, some war horses that would go through life and death with their masters, some domesticated falcons. They would surpass their instincts. Through long-term relationships, they would do things that other animals could not do. For example, they would not hurt their masters when they were hungry, they would not abandon their masters when they were in danger, they would face strong enemies with their masters when they were afraid, and so on. Because they had emotional intelligence, they would have a closer relationship with their masters and could become their masters' good helpers. The holy beasts of the soaring dragon continent, when they turned into humans, their main goal was not to turn into a human's body, but to become a complex life like humans. They would become a life form with high intelligence, high self-control and high learning abilities. Humans had almost unique moral character. This was the most intangible but most visible aspect of self-control, because moral character was a kind of extreme self-restraint. Without moral character, it was equivalent to letting go of one's instincts and having weak self-control. This kind of human's emotional intelligence would not be too high, and their actions would also be abnormal. Usually, the phrase worse than beasts could be used to describe these immoral people. Animals had no moral character to speak of. They had poor self-control and would completely rely on their instincts to do anything in their lives. There were very few exceptions. This point was more obvious in the soaring dragon continent or Tong Tian Tower. If a beast wanted to be reborn and evolve into a holy beast, One thing that must be done is to move closer to the human race. It had to have intelligence, be able to distinguish right from wrong, have emotional intelligence, and control its own words and actions. With these as the foundation, the beast would be able to continuously learn and gain intelligence. It would replace its instincts with skills, replace its instincts with moral character, and replace its thoughts with chaos. If it could improve further, it would be able to be like humans, learn higher skills and understand stronger abilities. For example, it could contract beasts, contract grimoires, and improve endlessly. The earth-fire magic ball that Yu Yang had purposely left behind was a test. He did not care about this treasure, he was more interested in the spirit of earth-fire's improvement. In the past, the spirit of earth-fire would definitely not be able to control its instincts and would uncontrollably devour it. After evolving from the spirit of flame and smoke to the spirit of earth-fire, she had gained intelligence. Although it was only a little, Yu Yang felt that it was worth a try. Through continuous strict training, the beast could expand its intelligence, just like how Yu Yang trained Hui Tai Lang in the past. Hui Tai Lang would slowly form a form of restraint, changing its instincts and using its own will as the basis for its actions. Yu Yang succeeded. Hui Tai Lang's self-control was very high, and its intelligence increased rapidly. Although its intelligence was not as high as humans, its self-control had far surpassed many humans and holy beasts. Hence, with Yu Yang's help, it successfully contracted a grimoire. Bloody Queen Red and Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen Duo were undoubtedly smarter than Hui Tai Lang and closer to humans. However, they were only holy beasts and could not become divine beasts. There were many reasons, other than the fact that Yu Yang was not in a hurry to let them contract a grimoire. Another important reason was that their self-control was not perfect. Of course, Hui Tai Lang's self-control was not perfect as well. He was also a glutton and a sleeper, but his code of conduct was to follow his master's will. Hence, Yu Yang could help him to become a divine beast earlier. In other words, he and Yu Yang were more in sync and their wills were as one. Hence, Yu Yang had a greater influence on him. This was where Hui Tai Lang was superior. The barbarian cow Shadow Ah Man was similar to Hui Tai Lang. However, Ah Man's intelligence was far from that of Hui Tai Lang, whose intelligence was almost monstrous. The spirit of earth-fire stopped devouring and looked at Hui Tai Lang. Ah Wu. Hui Tai Lang wanted to tell her that she had to give this treasure to her master. If her master was happy, he would reward her and then she could only absorb its energy. Otherwise, her master would be very unhappy. This was a stupid thing to do. It shouted for a long time, but the spirit of earth-fire did not understand at all. Her intelligence was not enough to think about these things. The spirit of earth-fire was like a child who saw candy. How could she not eat it when there were no adults around? This was Yu Yang's test. If the spirit of earth-fire could really control herself, even if it was just an attempt, it would be an improvement. If she did not realize that it was wrong to do so, she would still be following her instincts. Her intelligence and EQ would not be trained and improved. The wisdom fruit could awaken the intelligence of beasts and increase their intelligence. This was for sure. Why were there so many beasts who had eaten close to 100 wisdom fruits and had high intelligence, and could even learn many skills, but still could not become a holy beast? The reason was simple. These beasts only had intelligence, but they did not have self-control. They would never be able to reach the realm of humans. They would always follow their instincts and act like wild beasts. They would never be able to become a higher-level life form. Woo-woo. Seeing that the spirit of earth-fire was still sucking on the earth-fire magic flame ball, Hui Tai Lang could not help but cry out in disappointment. He had thought of attacking and snatching the earth-fire magic flame ball to stop her from doing so. However, his higher EQ made him stop this action. Instead, it turned into deep disappointment. It was a complicated emotion that only humans and a few higher-level lifeforms could have. Of course, the ability to stop attacking was an excellent growth. Hui Tai Lang had also improved unknowingly. It was not in terms of energy but in terms of intelligence. It was not reflected on the surface, but it was closer to human nature. Through this continuous improvement, Hui Tai Lang would become smarter and stronger. The spirit of earth fire turned around again. She saw Hui Tai Lang's dejected and unhappy look, as if he was confused. Especially when he saw Grey Wolf ignore him and slowly leave, a very strange emotion appeared in his newly awakened intelligence. She did not know why. Maybe it was her instinct, or maybe it was her consciousness, but the spirit of earth fire picked up the earth fire magic flame ball that she treated as a treasure. She chased after Hui Tai Lang and passed it to him. She looked like a child sharing candy with her best friend. She wanted most of it, but she was still willing to share. Meow, Hui Tai Lang shook his head to show that he did not need it. He still left. The spirit of earth fire was confused. She could not understand why the other party did not want such a good thing. Woof 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 woof. Hui Tai Lang wanted to tell her that he had to hand it over to his master. However, when he saw the spirit of earth fire pouncing on the ball and sucking it, he knew that he was wasting his breath. She was just a fool. He left in disappointment. He felt that the barbarian cow who wanted to snatch his treasure was smarter. The spirit of earth fire, who could not resist sucking the fire energy, turned around and looked at Hui Tai Lang. Her companion's actions made her feel extremely puzzled. Why did her companion leave? Why didn't he share it with her? She could not understand. For some reason, the spirit of earth fire decided to follow her companion. Of course, she could not bear to let go of the earth fire magic flame ball. She hugged the treasure and followed behind her companion. She tried her best to resist the urge to suck and followed Hui Tai Lang. When Hui Tai Lang saw that there was a way, he quickly brought her to find his master. Although this fire girl was stupid, she was not so stupid that she could not be cured. Maybe his master had a way. The two beasts started their journey to find their master. They did not know that this was the result that Yu Yang was looking forward to the most. In fact, this kind of training was the best for their future evolution. Because this was a change. There would be a turning point here. The instincts of the beasts would deviate here, and they would gradually become more rational. That was something that only humans had. Once they had a beast, they would not be far from becoming a holy beast. Once humans lost their beasts, they would become animals. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.